God, he could just not leave fast enough.
Yeah. I mean, really, we started that whole conversation. We just wanted to talk about Horror Nights.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Jason X.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit and talk about Horror Nights.
Well, no, let's not say that.
I give a fuck marginally about Jason X, but I the whole time we're planning on talking about Horror Nights, and then he had the gall to not go.
He hadn't done the homework of spending the money,
Hundreds
driving to Orlando, going.
He didn't have the gallkin to go.
That's good.
But anyway, don't worry, guys. We many years ago, it feels like at this point, we promised that we gave you the hype list for our houses and what we were really excited to, which ones we were excited to experience first for HHN this year, Halloween Horror Nights. We have been.
Yeah. Now we're like about halfway through the season.
Yeah. Yeah. Time travel shit. Nothing's real. Look out in front of you. Whatever you see, it's not real. If you're driving hard left, who gives a shit? Don't look twice. Take a life.
Wow.
So you and I have kind of, him and Hod and gone back and forth over what our favorites are. But you found like a web tool.
Yeah.
That basically allows you, because I know you're the same way. I struggle. If you ask me which one of those do you like better, like of a big list, I struggle. But you found a tool that you write a bunch of entries.
Yeah, you can put it in as like not a bulleted list, but one item after another for as many as you want.
Right. And then it just puts 2 at a time. And it's which one do you like more? And then it gives you a list, and that's way better. It's so useful that in a conversation that I was having with Carly on the way home, I was like, fuck it. I've now gone 5 years, which means I've been through 50 houses. And it's like, I want to see which one I like the most. So I did all 50 of them. And that's a discussion for a different time. So it'll take forever.
Last year, I went through the HHN like Wikia and wrote down every house that I had ever been through since 2006.
So 700.
And then I spent the like 30-40 minutes of ranking them one to one. But yeah, it was interesting to see.
Yeah. Was number 1 Jason X the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That only happened in my dreams though.
If you guys remember our hype list, they were kind of based on for you. They were based on information that you had, read from the event, read from the website and the media spoilers. I went in blind.
No, you went by name only.
Right. So I am excited that my list, for the most part, my list matches my hype list.
Yeah, mine's a little off. But the stuff that was going to be at the top is at the top, and the stuff that's going to be at the bottom is at the bottom for the most part.
All right, ready? We're going to have to smack our hands together into the mic, but we're going to do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first. Ready?
Okay.
Damn it. Oh my God. Ah, yes. I have prevailed.
Okay.
Number 10 for me, my least enjoyed house this year, Slaughter Cinema 2's Hatchet and Chains.
Wow.
Do not like it. I've given it many tries. I do not like that house. It's got good designs for stuff, but it is just jumbled, and I don't like the pacing of it at all. So yeah, my least favorite house of the year.
Okay, fair enough. Mine sticks with what I thought it was going to be. Horrors of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
And again, kind of like, and honestly, having been through it now, like several times, it's a really, really well put together house.
Yeah.
I just don't have any real reference to what's going on and who these characters are.
Yeah.
I think the designs are really cool, but, and I think if I were to really like do a deep dive, I could get more into it, but
I think it's fair to say that there aren't any bad houses this year.
Yeah. Like not a, we talked about this and when we spoke about it before of like, there's always one where you're like, well, that's the stinker. Like that's the one.
But even the WWE house is surprising.
Yeah. I'll hit it every night.
Yeah.
Like
it's pretty good. Okay. My number 9, Grave of Flesh.
Okay.
It's great, but it's like, guys, it is so fucking weird. If you like horror events, go to this one. Just microdose some shrooms and just go through with your eyes all wide. Because like at one point you're in like bloody MC Escher stairs. There's like a priest with a like a spine for a face. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it makes no fucking sense.
No.
So that's my number 9.
My number 9. This is where you're immediately going to be mad at me.
I don't think I'll be mad at you, but I might. Now I'm confused.
You're going to be mad at me for my number 9. And I use the same thing that you did to rank these.
Yeah.
Because I have the same problem.
Uh-huh.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Seriously?
Yes.
Well, I'm not mad at you.
But do you understand why?
Because you don't understand the source material.
I saw the movie, thought it was fine.
Sure.
It was a PG-13 horror movie for, whatever.
It's like a family drama.
Yeah, but I've never, played the games. I've never gotten into the lore. So I think that the sets, the puppets, the animatronics are all hugely impressive.
But
if I don't care anything about the source material, then I don't care about the source material.
For the record,
I'm
sitting at this table wearing a Five Nights at Freddy shirt that I got from Horror Nights this year. But no, I'm not mad. That's wild. And I get it, but I can't put myself in the headspace of not liking that series enough. Now, I said it was surprisingly high up my list because it's not at the bottom.
Okay.
But my number 8 is WWE, The Horrors of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Carly fell down a rabbit hole and kind of like deep dive researched into what, what the characters are about, what the kind of center focus of all of it is, and how he lived, what he was about. And I really, given some of that perspective, there's a documentary about him and his work on Peacock, and we sat and we watched that. And I got a new perspective. I got a new kind of respect for him as a creator. And so it was easier for me with kind of that reference to buy into it. But at the end of the day, it is still wrestling. And I can't care. I never have. I'm never going to. He can, obviously he took the platform he had and made something really interesting, but it can only be so. It's like the most interesting golf player in the world. It's like, I don't really care.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Again, you're going to be not happy. My number 8 is Fallout.
Yeah, low on a lot of people's lists this year. It's lower on mine than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I think I have seen the show and I have played maybe a couple of hours of Fallout 4. And I've seen you play a lot of Fallout and heard you talk about the lore and everything else. And I'm interested in it. It's something that if I didn't have to sit and actually physically play the game, I'd be really into the world that it is.
Well, and the problem is that you can't watch somebody play the game because it's not your character.
Right. So it doesn't really work the same way as The Last of Us, where I watched a playthrough of that. And it's like, well, yeah, because it's a story and they played through it.
There's also like a 1-for-1 retelling with some of the best actors on the planet.
Yeah.
So I
think the sets are really cool, but I think the timing in that house is very important.
Sure.
And so if you don't have a good run of the whole thing, then it's like, well, we walk through and there's not a whole lot. So it looks great though.
I will give the positive takes that I have when I get to that number, which again is surprisingly soon. For me, my number 7, El Artista.
Okay.
I think it is beautiful. El Artista is a house about a Spanish painter who is it's like a very Lovecraftian story, having to paint spirits and then slowly they consume him and then eventually kill him. And it's a really well done house. It's gorgeous. It has a lot of good scares, a lot of good facades. My criticisms, I think they were a little too ambitious with it. And so a lot of the pieces in it don't work most of the time. You never get a good start to finish where everything in that house works like clockwork. There's always a piece that isn't there or is missing. But the set pieces alone are just gorgeous. That's the telling of this year, though, is like that last year, that would have been like the best house, no question. They've just upped the ante so much this year that it's like, it is amazing, but it's number 7.
Yeah. My number 7 then is Hatchet and Chains.
Okay.
It is the lowest on my list of originals.
Okay.
Which that will also be a running theme of this is I prefer originals to IP.
And I, despite not playing Magic, I'm that asshole, right? I like the crossovers. I don't like the Spider-Man set too much, which is crazy because I'm such a big Spider-Man fan. But I don't play Magic.
Right. Yeah. It's weird that you brought it up.
I don't even know why we keep doing that, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway.
But no, Hatchet and Chains. It's a fine house. I like a lot of the effects in it. But yeah, it's kind of, if you have bad timing on it, then you miss a whole lot of stuff. And some of the effects that they did do early in the event have already kind of either broken or they've changed them in a way and we don't see them anymore. And it's like, oh, well, okay.
It's also very well lit. And as a result of it being very well lit, it is very clear, like, oh, that's a rubber mask and that's a spandex costume.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world because they're good costumes, but it's like darken it a bit. I think maybe that would have made it more interesting.
Maybe.
But yeah. Okay, so my number 6, Fallout.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, surprisingly low.
It's only, Again, and also we've said this is like there's not a bad house. So
yeah. The thing with Fallout that I love is because it is based entirely off the television show, which is fine. They can't get the license to the games, and they are two different things at this point. I like the show. I like the show a lot. I think as far as video game, like creative, completely unique storytelling from game to some other medium, I think Fallout is perhaps the best. It is very faithful to things. It changes things when needed, but not egregiously. But going through the house, it's like you start in a vault. I can now say that I've walked through what is obviously a vault, and that's amazing. And you get to see 1/1 scale power armor, bottles of Nuka-Cola, stim packs, and Mr. Handy. It's just great. It's a lot of fun. But it is the house this year, like Beetlejuice was for the 30th anniversary, where it isn't a haunted house. It is not a scare. It is, look, we have done the show, but you have a lot of scares of just people saying a word, but they jump out and there's a loud bang before. So it's like startling you. But I think as far as costumes, as far as set pieces, I think it does the show and the series justice. And because the show is so faithful, when you do justice to the show, you then do justice to the games. And those games are like pivotal to me at this point. Yeah. So it's, again, it's number 6, but it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. My number 6 then is Dolls Let's Play Dead. I mean, stepping into this house for the first time, and multiple times, but there are people around you in line are stepping into it for the first time and they're realizing what is happening and what you're looking at is always so much fun. The smells in this house, are overpowering at points, but it adds so much to it.
The room where you go into like the easy bake oven and there are melted dolls coming after you. And it's like, oh, the smell of burnt plastic. It's amazing. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
But yeah, number 6.
My number 5, Galkin.
Okay.
Monsters of the North. It is incredible. Some of the set pieces are amazing. It was the last house I went through. In order. I went through the entire opening weekend and I hadn't gone through it. I had to do it the next week. But it was, I mean, it's astounding. It's amazing. The only reason I think it's this low on my list is just because there are things that speak to me more clearly. I love the things that they do in here, but it's not that it doesn't reach me because we're at the point on these rank lists where it's like everything's amazing. Yeah. It's just this didn't communicate with me in the way that other things higher up the list will do. But no, this is one of those breathtakers too, because there are several moments that like physically drop your jaw. Man, I really hope people are into this as much as we are because like it's great.
Yeah. My number 5 is Grave of Flesh. And basically because of just how weird it is. It is like, it's almost as if they had a couple ideas, they smashed them all together, and then
they got lucky that it kind of worked.
Yeah. But there are just some effects in there that I am so fascinated by every time. That there is what we have collectively started calling the bone crusher, which is this thing on the left-hand side of one of the hallways. And there's this character on the right-hand side. I do not know what that actually looks like because I am just like literally just staring in the dark of just like, what is that?
Because it's like a pile of bones in between like a stone hydraulic press is what it looks like, and then there's just like Pennywise's dancing lights, just a bunch of popping lights in it. And it is. I was walking through there. I went through that house alone one night, and I'm walking through it, and I was like, okay, what's the over under that I am actually dead, and this is hell.
Yeah,
you just go through it over and over again.
And also, I go through it at least once a night because the line is typically the shortest.
Oh, yeah. It's that in WWE.
Yeah.
Because they're also way out in the middle of buttfuck. For those of you who don't know, the event this year is super crazy because they're tearing a roller coaster out of the entrance of the park in the middle of this event. So you have to walk around the landscape that was that roller coaster, but that means that you are leaving the park and walking you are closer to the other theme park on property than you are Universal proper.
Yeah, at that point.
It's like a 10-minute walk. It's crazy. Okay. My number 4, Jason Universe. It's astounding. It's amazing. Great set pieces. If you guys have been listening to our show, you know that we love AJ Jen, and we also both really like Jason Voorhees. And it's just reference after reference after reference.
Yes.
They didn't do the thing that I said I was worried about, where they were going to kind of base a lot of the aesthetic. Like his mask is the new one throughout most of the house.
For the first half, at least.
Doesn't bother me as bad.
Especially because, I'm just going to go ahead and pull. Mine is Jason Universe is number 4 for me as well.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, but yes, the first half is it's all the new mask, but it's the times that you and I go through together, and we can just go we point out the weapon that he's using in each room, and it's that's from part 3, that's from part 4.
Yeah. Towards the end of the house, you get to a long hallway, and all it is a long dark hallway with a bunch of ghillie suit,
the gauntlet of Jason's.
Yeah. And it's just from the left and the right, they pop out at you, but it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not 5. Sorry, fuck Roy Burns.
But I still haven't decided if there's a one from 5 in there.
Wouldn't it be great if it was, but it was him without the hockey mask, just a dude wearing a bald cap with the dumb ears, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's like, "Have you seen my son?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, Shelly's in the house."
Yes.
Yeah. And every time Derek and I walk past him, we shout, "Fuck you, Shelly," because he's the worst.
He is the worst.
Go back and listen to our review on part 3. And you'll realize that if your entire life is shitty practical jokes, you should end your life. Okay.
Or at least have Jason do it.
That's true. He'll do it for free. Just have sex with somebody really fast. But if that's what you're you're probably not able to. My number 3, Terrifier.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 3 is also Terrifier.
Amazing. Okay. It's astounding.
Yes.
I love those movies. Having not seen them up until the weekend before it began, and then we speed ran all 3 of them. No, it's amazing. They have okay. No easy way to say this. In the first Terrifier movie, Art the Clown saws a woman in half with a dirty, rusty old hacksaw, and she is chained upside down and naked, and he cuts her in half. So if she's upside down and she's naked, and he saws her perfectly in half, you understand where he begins to saw her. And it's like, you said there's how do they depict that?
That's always been, because Terrifier, since those movies started, people have always been like, "Oh man, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it as a house." And I'm like, I don't know how they do it justice.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
they do it. They do it in shadow.
Yeah.
It's like a rear projected shadow. And then you see her dead body, in the next room. And it's just the amount of arts that do the silly faces, and there's a room where there's a corpse that makes noises that he's just got a shaker of salt and a needle and a hammer, and he just tortures it, and then he points and laughs, and he's trying to get you in on it. And it's so fun. There's a wet path and a dry path. That's the disappointing part of that house. It's probably why it's lower on the list than 2 or 1, is because they made this big deal about a wet path that if you go through, you need a fucking poncho because you're going to get soaked. And then we went through it, and it was opening night, and it's sprinklers that drip water on you. And it's a long black hallway, and there's nothing interesting to see. And it's they could have done better. They could have done that better. But everything else about it, they have a room. You coined the term years ago of poo room, and it is a room that references feces, and so they pump shit smell into the room, and boy oh boy is it bad in there. And I still go through it every time I can because that house is fucking amazing.
Yes.
Okay, this is where we're going to start to separate again. My number 2 Dolls.
Okay. Yeah.
I was very excited for it. It was number one on my hype list. And it's so fucking amazing. Everything about it is great. You walk in and there is a fucking moose-sized dead rat stuck in a, like double door sized mousetrap. And you're like, oh, I'm little. This is great. Let's go. And it's great. All the trappings of a deranged child.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a room where there's a giant set of clippers and there's doll hair all over the floor. At one point, she said they use a projector to show, like a screen to show how big this little girl is who's torturing you. Who's, by the way, is wearing like a Hannibal Lecter mask of
made
old
of
doll pieces.
Yeah.
And she sets the fucking dollhouse on fire. It's like, oh shit. And it's just a madhouse.
Yeah.
I also love the tent that it's in. That house is always good year to year. It was Oddfellow, then it was Slaughter Cinema, now it's this. I really hope people are fans of AJGen that listen, because if not, this is 20 minutes of over the head. But no, Dolls is number 2. I love going through it. Every time it feels like a treat. Good.
My number 2 is then El Artista, a Spanish haunting.
Which means I know you're number 1.
Yes. El Artista is like you said, it's the pretty house this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's typically a house that like the production is just, I don't know, something else. It is something to behold.
Yeah.
And that is stepping into this. You're looking at a Spanish like building. It looks full scale. And then you walk through room to room to room. It tells this beautiful story. I love a lot of the effects in there. There are ones that like Pepper's Ghost effects, if you know what that is, from things like the Haunted Mansion ride. But
very Haunted Mansion vibes throughout the entire thing.
Yes.
With its decor and the way that certain decor will look like kind of like demonic faces and shit. No, it's amazing.
And there's certain things in that house that I haven't seen done in a while.
Yeah.
And so seeing them back, I'm always impressed. You've got some stilt walkers, you've got some flyers, you've got, it's just amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It reminds me of the, which is, I think, my second favorite house of all time per my list. I have to trust the list. I can't speak for my own opinions, but it was Universal Monsters Unmasked from years ago. A lot of those same sort of big gothic appearances and just amazing. Okay. So does that mean that you can name my number 1?
Well, it's got to be Five Nights.
It is. It's tremendous.
Yeah.
I love every second of it. When you walk in, seeing the 3, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy just doing a little pre-programmed dance, and then the music ends and their eyes change color and the lights all shut off and they just stare and look and ponder, and then the lights come back on and they start dancing again, all the way to the end when Springtrap busts out of the fucking wall.
That is cool.
It is themed after the movie. It is not telling the story of the movie.
No.
It is a menagerie of look at how cool it is to be scared by these big, silly things. There's a room where you walk in and there's a hallway. My favorite Five Nights animatronic is Bonnie. I love Bonnie. And there's a hallway that you walk into, and to the right is like what looks to be a janitorial closet. And there is a guy who comes out of the wall and he's like, no. And then the arm of without exaggeration, an 8-foot tall puppet of Bonnie grabs him by the throat. The eyes kick on and it chokes him to death. And it's like, I can't imagine how much money all these props cost. And it's like, this is the thing that makes these events sad, is that when you have your favorite, I know it's going to be gone soon. And the problem this year is that Five Nights is the house with the line.
Yep.
140 minutes.
Yep. Easily every night.
So I tried to get through it. This last, one of the last times we went was for Carly's birthday. And we were able to go through it because that's her favorite too. And we were able to go through it a couple times that night. And that was great.
Yeah.
Really, really spectacular. If you can't go, look up a walkthrough of it if you're a fan of the series like I am. They have this sequence where Foxy starts at the end of a hallway and is on a motorized track and physically runs down the hall at you. Oh, chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Which means your number 1 is Galkin.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Monsters of the North. I love a cold house, a snowy house, and I love a house with a weird part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And also I love a house where the kind of the storytelling and the way that it's laid out is that you can see further parts of the house before you get to them.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of scale for the entire thing.
It also doesn't make it feel linear. It makes it feel like you are experiencing something naturally. I will give Galkin that is they have like a giant wicker man burning effigy made of straw. And from like the first third, like the end of the first third of the house, because it's towards the end, you can see it burning in the distance. And it does it. What that feels less like is it feels less like a dungeon and more like Resident Evil, where you're walking through in 4 and you can see the church out in the distance. That's what it reminds me of.
Yes. A lot of my favorite houses are kind of built in that way.
Yeah.
But yes, it's also that it's like you see that and you have all these big moments and you have, all these different creature types. And then you get to that and you're like, oh, well, this is the finale, obviously, with the big wicker man. And it's like, oh, hold on.
Only you know. That I assume that's another thing with houses that you like is you really like a house where at the end you get sucked. Hello and welcome to the Third Channel Podcast,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan.
And a newbie to the genre. I'm Beans Morocco.
And I'm Derek.
And today, the only thing we're here to talk about is horror. Well, the first thing we actually have to talk about is the fact that we just absolutely set a record for longest cold open ever. It's not cold anymore. That's flaming hot.
Yeah.
That's a flaming hot Cheeto with cold open. It's fucking like 25 minutes.
They should give us an award for how long that cold open was.
We should put in the description just really quickly. If you don't like horror nights, just go to. Yeah, they should give us an award. A lot of people should give us an award.
Mm-hmm. You know who didn't give us an award?
Can I take a guess?
Yeah.
Is it Best of the Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's Creative Loafing's Best of the Bay 2025.
Yeah. We are an award-nominated podcast.
Yeah.
We are not an award-winning podcast.
Not yet.
Okay. All silliness, all goofing off aside, because we, like you, are also like, well, what the fuck? Because there's no way you guys didn't vote every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of you. There's no way. Billions of votes. No way that didn't happen. We've been very earnest about this before. Thank you all. The fact that we are, less than a year in, we're getting close, but the fact that we're less than a year in and we can say that we were nominated for a pretty big, pretty prestigious sort of thing and made it pretty far. And I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And, I think it speaks volumes to what we were hoping to get out of this. We got out of it.
Yeah.
Which is we were hoping that people would like what we were making enough to want to see it grow and to grow with it. And I think we found that. And we love you all. Anybody who listens to this, except for, my 12-year-old calls them ops, her opponents. Right?
Oh.
Unless you're a motherfucking op, thank you. And we appreciate you. And as always, feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to comment. Feel free to ask us questions. If you like horror nights, feel free to talk to us about that. Maybe send us pictures of time spent at horror things. If you're local to the area, there's also, there's Howl-O-Scream Busch Gardens, Howl-O-Scream SeaWorld. There's Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, Scream-Mageddon. There's all kinds of haunts. We will probably end up at most, if not all of those. So yeah, reach out, share your stories, share what you like, share what movies you're looking forward to us. I mean, this episode should be releasing the first proper week of October. Oh no, I guess Jason. Okay. Sorry. This is the first episode that's dropping where we have enough time and we have kind of caught up in this weird way where for us, it feels like October. We're not still in August. So, but yeah, definitely feel free to reach out. We did have that did not happen.
Right.
But for fans and people that want to kind of see more of stuff that we make, we did do something else.
Yeah. I also want to say thank you to everyone who voted. And I also want to say, hey, we didn't win, but that just means we got a year to try again.
That's right. Also, I want the record to show that I thanked you all first, and with more words.
But I will also thank in this moment a friend of ours, a friend of the show, John Keogh.
Yes.
We've spoken about him several times over the last year of episodes, and he is an editor who we are kind of friends with online. We've spoken about him during our Evil Dead discussions because he has done a supercut of all three of the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness films, all cut into one single movie. He's also done a supercut of the X Pearl Maxine trilogy into one movie.
I haven't seen that one, but I did see with you. We sat and watched because you got it from him.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead supercut, and something that you and I could not get over, had to pause, go back and watch again, is the way he changes the aspect ratio in between 2 and Army of Darkness, and it's so good.
Yeah.
If you guys like stuff like that, if you like movies, but if you're a super fan and you like to see different takes on things, you should look up that, his edits on these things.
Yeah. And I'll link to his YouTube and his Vimeo in the comments below, because that is where you will find the project that he invited us to take part in.
Yeah.
He did this was months ago. He had reached out to a bunch of people. I did not know who all he had invited to do this thing,
which is important for later.
But he wanted to do what's called a revolving door commentary. And that is where, if you listen to, and we've listened to a bunch of commentaries for the different movies we've talked about. But that's typically like the director, the writers, some of the actors, they sit down, they watch the movie, and they talk about it.
Yeah.
This is a revolving door commentary where he got a group of like 8 to 10 different people, and he had them talk for like 10 to 12 minutes a piece. And then he cut them into the movie at basically the parts where it makes the most sense for the flow of conversation, as well as cutting it together with archival interviews with the directors, with the actors,
audio from the trailers,
audio from or a reading of the book, Who Goes There, which is what the movie is based on. And if that wasn't a dead giveaway, it's John Carpenter's The Thing.
The whole premise of this show is that I'm a newbie.
Right.
And so only punctuated by the fact that in the commentary you go, so when's the first time you saw this? And I was like, no, just now, because I hadn't seen it, and we watched it together. Man, it's incredible.
Absolutely phenomenal.
No, we're not here to talk about the thing. We're here to talk about, I didn't say. And today's horror is Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh, right. It's almost as if we haven't done this for like a month.
Yeah. I had to dust the cobwebs off of the equipment and off of myself.
But we did, about 11 to 12 minutes of our piece where we talked about it. We gave our 2 cents as the newbie and the schmoobie. I think John, from everything he said, he got a real kick out of that moment.
Yeah.
And he put, he kind of chose the moments that he put us in, and we were lucky enough to kind of kick off the whole thing over the opening credits.
Yeah. He recorded himself kind of narrating who's in the commentary, who's about to speak, etc. And he introduces us, and as the movie begins, it's, hi, we're the hosts of the Third Channel and it was a surreal thing. Not only are we touched that he put us in it at all, not only are we touched that he posted it and tagged us in the post, specifically us, and said, thank you so much. We feel so amateur in this world that to get that kind of shout out felt amazing. But here's the most insane story in the world to me. One of the most amazing things that's ever happened in my life. You sent that photo to Ty and I of the thing,
the poster,
right? The poster of the thing that John has then written what the commentary is and who is all in it. And he put, and it's him tagging us in it. And was like, I had to put them in the beginning because it was so fun. You guys should check out their show. And so I was working, so I was busy, and I look down and I see it and I go, oh, that's really nice. And I sent you, oh, wow, that's super cool of him. I'm, and I don't have social, so I don't have a way to reach out, but I was like, you should tell him on, from my behalf. Thank you. And you were like, did you not look who's in it? And I was like, no, I guess I didn't. And I looked. And so then I saw the person who speaks directly after us in the commentary.
Is Patton Oswalt.
Which is fucking insane.
And his wife, Meredith Salinger.
We have talked about him on the show many times. I saw him for Christmas.
We talked about that on the show.
Right. And it's like, not knowing that he was involved. Honest question. If we knew he was involved, would we have recorded differently? Hello.
No, I don't know. I think we did exactly what we would have done.
No, I think so too. That is such a highlight of all of this. Of my life so far, is that there is something created by a professional who we have the deepest respect for, who thought that we were of the same sort of not only intellectual caliber, but entertainment caliber, to include us in a commentary track with a man who not only is, like an award-winning performer who's been in the industry forever, who's like a household name, not only that, but also like the Da Vinci of shitty movie reviews. Or like not even shitty, but like old horror. Like he is the Mystery Science Theater turned into a man, turned into an animated rat.
Well, he was in that Mystery Science Theater revamp that they did on Netflix.
Yeah, he's also an animated rat. Yeah.
Ratatouille.
But yeah, so that happened to us.
Yeah. Super, super impressive to see our names above Patton and Meredith there. But also really impressive to be with Brainbuster Video, who
we've also talked about.
We've met at that HorrorCon that we did.
That's
we
right.
did Rocky at once.
Yeah.
I have several art pieces that Brainbuster Video has produced.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I'm gonna maybe pronounce some names wrong here, but the other commentators there are Azura Knox, Sam Reed, and Luke Pajowski, and then Annalisa DH, who are all like new connections for us to have, because I loved everybody's take on, and it was the whole idea of the thing is so interesting because none of us, I don't think, knew. He basically said, hey, do you love the thing? Would you like to talk about it for like 10 minutes? You can say whatever you want. And he gave us no other prompt.
Yeah. And for the most part, it was people kind of talking about their general love. Patton, apparently Meredith, Patton's wife, had acted in
another movie,
prior with the dog that would then go on to be the dog from The Thing. So, what is it? 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. So that dog knows Kevin Bacon. But and so they were kind of played over that. We had a much more general discussion, you and I, just about like the general love of that movie and the general like kind of respect for it. So that was, I think that's probably what placed us in the opening, is because we're the tastemaker. You understand? We're the hors d'oeuvres of revolving door commentaries.
And then he split off a bit of the rest of ours, like the back half, and then we're placed over the defibrillator scene.
Yeah.
Which is also just like, well, this is the most iconic scene in the whole movie. How did we get so lucky?
Is John like our unofficial like creativity boyfriend?
He might be.
Dude, I gotta meet this guy.
Same.
We gotta have a meet cute. Wes Craven's, who, remember, he can see the spooky future. This is his new nightmare. This time, staying awake won't save you. Cast and crew from A Nightmare on Elm Street are terrorized by Freddy Krueger and his razor-fingered glove as he crosses over into the real world. A couple things I have a problem there. It's not a razored glove anymore. He just got weird, like, bony claw fingers. It's like old Wolverine, when they were disgusting. And then, spoiler-ish, not actually Freddy.
Yeah.
It's Pazuzu from The Exorcist.
Right. That's the real twist.
That's the real nightmare.
This is one where I really like this movie.
Yeah.
I love a good meta flick. And this one, like, couldn't be more so.
No, we have talked about the meta qualities that the Scream franchise has, which lo and behold, also Wes Craven, but then also Chucky, especially in the later series. Like, I think Seed of Chucky is like touching this movie's like hanging fruits. You know what I mean? It's balls. It's touching its balls.
Well, like Freddy does to Nancy's, not Nancy. I'm gonna do that the whole show. So
me too.
Just leave it in, like Freddy does to Heather's husband in this movie.
That's true. And he likes it.
He does.
Because it's like, you know, actors playing themselves, playing roles, but that's still themselves. And this movie is just nothing but that. That's all this movie is. The narrative focus of this movie is the fact that there are movies and that they are making a movie right now. It's like, what?
It's wild, but I love it.
When's the first time you saw it?
Probably post Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
Because this one was so far detached. It had come out before, obviously, but yeah, it's a weird one. But I think even as a young kid, I think I got the whole meta thing, and I was very much into filmmaking. So making a movie about like a movie going bad, interested me. And I love kind of the redesign of Freddy. But again, like I'm trying to think back to like, did I like that at first, and have I grown to like that?
Yeah.
And I can't really remember. This one I've probably watched kind of less than some of the others, just because it falls out of continuity.
Yeah. The first time I watched this, I don't even ever need to finish the sentence because it's always the same. We watched it together at whatever point in the film chronology that this one would have taken place in. So I think we watched this one last.
Yeah.
But by this point, I had already seen, Scream and its franchise. I'd seen Chucky and his franchise. I'd seen all of these very meta, very funny things. And so for this one is different because yes, it is meta, but no, it is not funny.
That's a good point.
It doesn't play for comedy at all. It doesn't play for satire. It is very weird and sort of irreverent storytelling. And I was a huge fan of it right from the jump. Not as much as the others in the series that are genuine movies, but it is not on the bottom. It is, it holds its own. It is an incredibly like bright and uplifting beginning to a very dark and surreal ending. No, I'm a huge fan of this movie. I think that weird Freddy is weird, and his hand and face are weird, but like doesn't bother me. It's the way they explain what this is doesn't really bother me, that he looks different. So.
Yes. Okay, that's a good point. And the fact that it's Wes Craven who gets to come back and kind of retake his creature, like his creation.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel like such an asshole move that when he does come back, he's like, okay, so here's the story. And then begins to explain that the story is about his story being so good and so powerful that when the studio fucked with it, it literally made a demon, and now he has to write it out to save the world.
Yeah.
So fucking funny.
It's a little M. Night Shyamalan. Have you seen Lady in the Water?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No, you're supposed to go, what? And that's the joke.
What?
Dead fuck.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare was released October 14th of 1994.
I'm alive for this one, which is new because typically I'm years before having been born. I was alive for Freddy versus and Jason X. And now I don't know. But the point is that this is a nightmare movie that came out while I was alive.
Yeah, same. I had just celebrated my 4th birthday.
See, for my life, Freddy Krueger had just delivered me. I was a C-section, so he just,
That's good.
Yeah. That's why I have all these scars.
Because he was not a licensed doctor.
They were like, you're a terrible wet nurse. And he's like, unless the wet is blood, ha ha. And then he disappeared in smoke.
It is written and directed by Wes Craven. It is produced by Marianne Maddalena. The cinematography is done by Mark Irwin. He was the DP on David Cronenberg's The Brood, Scanners, Videodrome, The Dead Zone, The Fly. And then he'd also worked with Chuck Russell on The Blob, Tommy Lee Wallace on Fright Night Part 2, John Lafia on Man's Best Friend, and then he worked reteamed with Wes Craven for Vampire in Brooklyn, Scream. He also was the cinematographer on Freddy Got Fingered.
The Freddy Krueger movie that no one knows. It's a secret Freddy Krueger movie. They're Jules, Betty. They're Jules.
The editor is Patrick Lucier. He had also worked on Wes Craven's Vampire in Brooklyn, Scream 1, 2, and 3, Music of the Heart, Cursed, Red Eye, all Wes Craven films. And then he also was the editor on Halloween H2O. And he was also the editor and director for Dracula 2000, White Noise 2, My Bloody Valentine 3D, and Drive Angry 3D.
Okay.
The budget for this film is $8 million. That's a little lower than the previous one. And the box office is $19.8 million, which is way down from the $34 million that the last had brought in.
Oh my God. Is this the lowest of like the period of time that we're in?
That I don't know. But I mean, it did make like double.
Yeah, but like I think Jason Goes to Hell made more than this.
We'd
have to look.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really matter, but this movie deserves so much better.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I fucking hate humanity because of this.
Wes Craven, we've talked about him a lot. This will kind of be our last one to talk about him for a little while, probably. Yeah. But he had directed Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, a bunch of those movies that I just mentioned a second ago.
Mm-hmm. But 4 of the 6 Scream movies.
Yeah. We know him. We love him. Wes, we miss you, buddy.
He was a good friend of ours. We had another revolving door commentary and we were like, Wes Craven's in this?
The producer, Marianne Madalena, she had worked on Wes Craven's Shocker in 89, People Under the Stairs, Vampire in Brooklyn, Music of the Heart, Cursed, Red Eye. And then she was also the producer on The Hills Have Eyes 06 remake, The Last House on the Left 09 remake, and Screams 1 through 5. And then the music of this is done by J. Peter Robinson, who had also done the music for Return of the Living Dead 2, The Blob, The Kiss, which is a 88 fantasy horror film starring Meredith Salinger.
Ew. 6 Degrees of Salinger.
Also did the music for Wayne's World, Vampire in Brooklyn, Godzilla 2000, and 6 episodes of Tales from the Crypt, as well as 6 episodes of the animated Spawn show.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Keith David.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the Thing.
All coming together.
There it is.
So ideas of making a 7th Nightmare movie began in 1992, just a year after Freddy's Dead had come out. But before making it, Wes basically watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, and by the time he was done, he had said that he could not follow the storyline at all, and that he said that the sequels were weak compared to his original masterpiece. Which is more or less jokes that he makes in both this movie and Scream.
Yeah, and like, listen, is that true? No. Do I get why he's saying that? Yes. Because he's like, hey guys, here's my treatment for the next one. It's like the story about George Lucas going to Disney being like, here's my treatment for 7. And they were like, no. And it's like, yeah, but you know, he's an idiot. I hate his face. So that makes sense. That's not me speaking. That was Kathleen Kennedy's direct quote. She said,
wow.
He's an idiot and I hate his face. But like for New Line to be like, no, Wes, we don't want your scripts. It's like, why? What the fuck do you mean? Oh, well.
Yeah. Eventually that leads to Freddy's Dead.
And I wish I was dead or fingered. Either thing.
God.
Either Freddy.
It was originally written under the working title A Nightmare on Elm Street 7, The Ascension, but Robert Shea didn't want the audience to see it as just another sequel and wanted it to stand on its own. So much so that like the trailers and TV spots didn't show Freddy's face on screen until after it was released. Wes Craven also set out to make it deliberately more like a cerebral film more than the recent entries in the franchise. He called them cartoonish and not faithful to the original themes. The basic premise originated when Craven had first signed on to co-write Dream Warriors, but the New Line rejected it at that point. So as far back as then, he was wanting to do meta stuff.
That's funny. The other thing that I think is funny is this man is calling the sequels cartoonish and not faithful to the original, where a guy gets really long arms and then cuts his fingers off and he's like, ah, like it's just, what do you think that is, dude?
That's scary.
It's art.
In the original draft, Wes Craven was originally supposed to be on the run from Freddy, and he was riding around in a van driven by Michael Berryman, who he directed in The Hills Have Eyes. And both were supposed to be horribly sleep deprived, with Craven cutting his eyelids while writing the script, struggling to stay awake.
I mean, that's dark as fuck.
It really is. But the events of this movie revolve around Heather Langenkamp having a stalker. Now, in real life, following her success with Nightmare on Elm Street and The Dream Warriors, she had taken a role of Mary Lubbock, probably pronouncing that wrong, in the ABC sitcom Just the 10 of Us. She was later then stalked by an obsessed fan who was unhappy that the series had been canceled, which led to her temporarily moving to England to get away from it all. And so Wes Craven actually got her permission to kind of weave the idea of a stalker into this story.
That's cool.
The other thing that this movie kind of plays with reality on is Heather Langenkamp's actual husband, David Leroy Anderson, is a special effects artist, but he declined to play himself in this movie.
Good for him.
The television show appearance was also inspired by a real encounter. Wes Craven said that he and Robert Englund did an appearance together on a public television station in San Francisco, and they were supposed to be talking about whether this kind of movie was bad for children or not. And there were parents in the audience and their kids, and all the kids leaped up on their feet and started chanting, "Freddy, Freddy, Freddy." And he says that he remembered looking at the show host and all the parents, and they all just looked horrified. So, I mean, fantastic.
It also reminds me of one of the ideas for Freddy Versus with the cult of Freddy. And all the kids are like, but it also reminds me of the idea where Freddy's too weak to defend himself. So the kids just constantly take Ambien and then beat the shit out of Freddy in the dream. And that's what those kids were hungry for.
But in this film, Krueger is portrayed closer to what Craven had imagined originally, darker, less comical. To reinforce this, the character's makeup and outfit were enhanced, with one of the most prominent differences being that he now wears a long blue or black, depending on the color temperature of the film, trench coat and a green hat. In addition to that, his signature glove, like you said, was redesigned for a more organic look, the fingers kind of resembling bones and the muscle texture between them. The bioengineered hand and glove is derived from the artwork of the theatrical poster to A Nightmare on Elm Street, which we've never really talked about the posters for these movies, but I love the art for the grand majority of these because they don't really look like Freddy like you see him in the movie.
No, I think my favorite poster from any of these movies is Dream Warriors, and it's them all staring, and he is the horizon, just this massive version of his head. But it's really like old school horror art.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It reminds me of drawn posters of The Birds or Psycho, those really old classic horror posters. I love them. I think they're great.
Same. And then finally here, Wes Craven, before his death, he had said in 2015, he admitted that he did regret changing the appearance of Freddy. And to quote him, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," which is why he kept Ghostface mask the same in every single Scream movie.
That's great. One thing that I know, the only fun fact that I know about this, because I've heard Robert Englund talk about this, it was actually in an interview, oddly enough, something that we have. I don't know that we've mentioned this about Robert Englund, but in the Injustice video game series, the DC Mortal Kombat created fighting game, in the sequel to the original Injustice, Robert Englund voices the Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane, the Batman villain. And it's exceptional. The performance is great. It's really heavily modulated. But in an interview talking about that, he was asked what one of his least favorite work, did you enjoy doing the mocap? Did you enjoy doing voice work? And he's like, yeah, the team was great, blah, blah, blah. And then it's, what's your least favorite thing that you've ever had to do creatively? And he mentioned the new Nightmare glove because they added the blade to the thumb. And he has spent a career that spanned a decade flicking his 4 fingers and getting very good with them. He would peel fruit with the glove. And it got to the point where he couldn't even use his fucking hand. And so he asked, can we just take the fucking thumb off? And they were like, no, because we've already done like promo images for the movie and you got the thumb glove, like the thumb knife. And he's like, who the fuck cares? But they made him wear that thing and he couldn't move his hand at all. And I think that is so silly. So sometimes if it ain't broke, you then break it and then you have to fix it later.
So Heather, we're approaching the 10th anniversary of this whole Nightmare on Elm Street thing. I mean, the original 5 very popular sequels. How has all this success affected you personally?
Well, I don't know if it really has, Sam. God, with the exception of 1 and 3, I pretty much stayed out of it. And, well, you know I'm doing a lot more television now, so those hours let me spend a lot more time with my husband and my little boy.
That's right, you have a little boy. What's his name?
Dylan.
With Dylan, does that change your feeling, your perspective about horror movies?
No, not really.
I mean, would you let him see one of your movies?
My son? No.
I'm sure people ask you this all the time. Is there going to be another sequel? And what's more, is Freddy really dead?
Of course he is. Freddy's dead and gone.
And how about your co-star in the original, in Nightmare 1? Would you trust him alone with Dylan?
Robert? I don't know.
You know what? Why don't we ask him how he'd feel about it? We've got a big surprise for you, Heather, and for our audience. Let's bring him out. He is the best of the bad. Let's say hello to Robert Englund. Love you, babe. We'll do lunch.
It's crazy that we would then later on become best friends with Heather Langenkamp's son, Dylan, that she mentions in our clip.
Oh, yeah. We
That's
had him.
the
I mean,
Dylan.
he just left. Do you think we could call him and get him back?
We could threaten him.
Yeah.
Certainly.
That's how we got him here in the first place.
He did a really good job of masking the pain in his voice from the bear trap. The reverse bear trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie opens with no opening credits,
None.
with the idea of kind of blending. Is this a movie? Is this a documentary? Is this something in between? What are we watching? But it also starts with kind of a repeat of the opening of the original Nightmare on Elm Street, because you have hands that are like building the glove.
Yeah.
And we kind of just watch this close up of this work being done here, the glove being built, and then they pick up a cleaver and they chop the hand off to then jam this new glove on.
Yeah.
Then thus revealing that we are on a movie set,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all just special effects being done here, which I love the little bait and switch here to start us off.
The other thing I like is it is rare, in a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of documentaries about films being made. That is typically about a writer, director, actor relationship.
Mhm.
Most documentaries, most behind the scenes stuff, even, most commentary is about working on getting a shot from the perspective of the director, working on performing that shot from the perspective of your actors. It is so fun that you start this movie and it's just an SFX behind the scenes, like orama. It is everywhere. You pointed out to me, because I hadn't noticed it before, that in the background in one of these longer shots is the chest with all the faces kind of stuck out.
Well, and they have the head from Dream Child, where it's her pulling Freddy out.
Right.
And so it's the two heads separating from each other.
And so immediately, because I will say that a lot of the facts about this movie kind of make Wes Craven come off like an asshole.
Yeah.
But him being like, no, look, everything's here. I didn't make it, so it's fucking trash. But it's here. Yeah. No, it's a visual feast. The glove, it's revealed that her husband's name is Chase something in this film.
Yeah, Chase Porter.
Yeah. It is revealed that the gloved hand that he's created, which is where we see the weird fucking thumb knife. God, I hate it so much. I hate it for him. But it then kind of like comes alive, and you see a lot of the set pieces start to interact. Like there's like an old like portcullis with a gate that starts to like fire effects around it, and the set seems alive.
Yes. Yes, because we see Wes Craven is there, Heather Langenkamp is there with her husband and her son Dylan. And so they're kind of like, he's showing his son how these things work, and then things start going wrong.
Yeah.
It starts moving on its own. Dylan like runs over to like what ends up being the set of his bedroom in this movie.
Yeah.
And he climbs into a bed, and then like a piece of, fake wall is walked in front of him, and he disappears.
Yeah.
And so it's like Heather's freaking out. The two other special effects guys get like murdered by this glove.
In like a pretty decent scene, because you could do it really cheap and shitty and like pay a really bad animation studio to do stop motion with the glove, but it looks really good.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly how this effect is done.
I assumed stop motion, like really clean stop motion.
Yeah. And then just overlay it onto the live action actors and things.
But it slashes a throat, jumps up, stabs a chest. Like it's just like a little evil guy.
Yeah. And it's just this brief little scene here. I just want to point out Charles Chuck Wilson and Terrence Terry Feinstein are the two special effects artists, and they are played by Matt Winston, who is Stan Winston's son.
Great.
And then Rob LaBelle, who is an actor. And the thing that we know him from, he played Wally Weaver in the Watchmen 09 movie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dr. Manhattan's like friend who,
That is so bizarre. Ugh. Weird.
But this whole scene is then revealed to be a nightmare that Heather is having.
Yeah, she wakes up
In the middle of an earthquake.
They are in LA. They live in LA because and they got away from those crazy riots. But they're in LA, and an earthquake has awoken her.
Yes. And she and her husband Chase, they run down to protect their son Dylan.
Heather notices an injury on Chase's arm,
which matches
the one from the dream she was just in. And it's like, so I don't remember the film, but we talked about in one film, we talked about the fact that there needed to be an extraneous sort of circumstance that explained your lead's paranoia. That you're a paranoia born of something surreal or supernatural doesn't make sense unless there is a compounding either evidence or stressor that leads them to this conclusion. We are immediately shown that where the phone begins to ring. She answers the phone. Creepy voice on the very much like Black Christmas, because she picks up the phone and she just hears Agnes, Agnes! And it's like, oh God, no, not Billy Boyd.
Yeah. But yes, Heather has been getting obscene phone calls from a stalker, and that has been giving her these nightmares. But also we're given the information that there's apparently been 5 earthquakes in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Heather Langenkamp, we've talked about her. Obviously, she was in A Nightmare on Elm Street and Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Wait, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, what?
Dream Warriors.
So good.
Sorry, it's been weeks.
Yeah.
But she also has a cameo in Wes Craven's Shocker. She did 47 episodes of that sitcom, Just the 10 of Us. She's in 2 episodes of American Horror Story Freak Show. And then she does a cameo in Hellraiser Judgment.
That's right.
She is in the Christopher Pike adaptation of The Midnight Club, which is a 2022 Netflix Mike Flanagan series that ran for a season. And then she's also in the Stephen King adaptation of Life of Chuck, which came out this year, 2025, also directed by Mike Flanagan.
And is she good in that?
Yeah, she has a smaller part, but I like what she does there.
I like that she kind of has she's been given a sort of resurgence here lately. I like that.
Same.
Because she's wonderful.
Yes.
Everything that I've seen her in, and keep in mind, it's only nightmare movies, but the 3 that I've seen her in, she's wonderful. She's my favorite part of each one.
Yeah. Her husband, Chase Porter, is played by David Newsom. He was in a mystery drama called Boys, which starred Winona Ryder. He was in a 97 horror drama called Black Circle Boys. He's also in the Shane Black film Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And then their son, Dylan Porter, is played by Miko Hughes, I think is how you would pronounce it.
Okay. Miko.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he plays Gage in Pet Sematary, the original 1989. He was also in Kindergarten Cop.
What? Is he the cop?
He's the kindergarten.
Yo, that's crazy.
I don't know if he's the kid who asks if it's a tumor or not. I've never seen that film.
I haven't either.
But he also is apparently in Apollo 13. He was in the 97 Spawn film.
Oh.
And then he is in, he was kind of a series regular for a bit in Full House, the sitcom.
Okay, cool. Now, so a couple things that I want to discuss here.
Mhm.
You have like a Wi-Fi signal of actors' performance strength in this little family.
Yes. Yes.
Heather Langenkamp is the Wi-Fi is full.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
5 bars.
She buys into it. Her performance is really good. It's a nostalgia. It's a fuzzy feeling seeing her back and the way she delivers her lines. It all just feels so very like, oh no, this isn't a script. This is a person just being alive in a world. And she sells that so well. And then the guy who plays Chase is like, you can still get a YouTube to load, but it's going to YouTube. I'm 90 years old. It's going to buffer for a while.
Right.
Now the child,
Yes.
Miko, you and I have talked about this because it's like, I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
Yes. I can't remember what I said whenever we were watching this originally.
You said you didn't mind, like, I don't mind the things he's saying and like the tone, but like his face and his delivery, I hate everything he's doing.
Yeah. And
Which is like he's a kid,
Right.
but like go get a different kid. Get the kid from Dream Child. He's the creep, you know?
Yeah. But it's when you see Pet Sematary, he's even younger in that one than this. And I still have the same problems with him in that one. It's just something about the way that this kid delivers lines and there are certain, like earlier in the movie, I think he's fine. It's whenever he's really having to emote. That's where I don't like.
Rex.
Oh my
It
God.
fucking drives
And
me
whenever he
insane.
like screams at the camera toward the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's the worst.
You know who they should have gotten? They should have gotten the kid who's like, Master Skywalker. They're everywhere, whatever. He's like, hey, you fuck. Go here and help us.
Yeah.
You know?
No, they should have got Macaulay Culkin.
So like I was gonna do a quick move on, but no, that's a really funny bit. And then they'd be like, your mom's in danger, and he'd go, what? To the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he'd bash Joe Pesci.
And it would be Christmas. A Nightmare Christmas. So
A New Nightmare Before Christmas.
that was better.
So the phone rings. She freaks out.
Yes.
But this time it's a driver.
Well, okay. So Chase is leaving. He's going to Palm Springs to do he's working on like a detergent commercial because he's a special effects guy.
Yeah.
And then after he leaves, I love that like these giant cracks, these 4 cracks come down the wall. They look like, Freddy has now slashed their bedroom wall.
Yeah.
And when she goes downstairs, she catches Dylan watching A Nightmare on Elm Street on this TV. And she like unplugs the TV and it remains unplugged for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That's an important detail.
Yeah.
But he begins, the phone rings, the stalker does the Freddy rhyme. And then that's where we're introduced to Julie, who is like their babysitter for Dylan.
Who's great.
The little bit that we kind of get with her. Because Heather is leaving for the TV interview. And so Julie is there. Julie is played by Tracy Middendorf. She was in 139 episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Chump change.
I know. She was in For the Love of the Game, which is a Sam Raimi film. She's in Mission Impossible 3. Have you watched Boardwalk Empire?
Yeah, I have.
She plays Babette for 9 episodes.
Oh, wow. Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen that show, but I thought you would.
I'm also a big Days of Our Lives fan. I don't know why you didn't ask me about that.
Oh, I don't know what character she played in that. But she also was in the Scream series for 23 episodes. She played Maggie Duvall.
Like the MTV show?
Yeah.
I've only seen the 3rd season of that.
Okay.
The first 2 seasons, they couldn't get the Fun World Mask license.
Yeah.
So it's not that I am that level of like, well, it's not Ghostface. I'm not interested.
I get that.
But the third season of that show is really bad.
And then she gets another call, but this time, yes, it is a limo driver who is coming to take her to this interview. He's a bit of a creep.
Yeah. He like way oversteps the boundary of like talking through the thing and is like, yeah, I love you in those movies. You look stellar. Hey, let me take a picture of your, like, let me get an upskirt picture of you. And she's like, oh God, not really that, but close. And she's like, oh, okay. And she rolls the fucking window up. Yeah, I mean, basically next is the clip.
Yeah.
It's the interview.
And he has like the questions that he's asking are bizarre and they just get stranger and stranger. It's the verbiage of like, well, would you let your co-star of that first movie be alone with your son? And
what about a priest? Would you let a priest near Dylan? Would you?
No,
how
no,
many
no.
priests would you let
Not my
sit
sweet
around
Dylan.
your Dylan? Our Dylan, however many
Yeah.
it takes, but however many need to grab him. But the other thing about that is we mentioned, Wes talking about the TV studio. All of the children in this TV studio dressed up like Freddy Krueger. All of them. It's so funny.
And he comes out and he's in full Freddy regalia. And I think they use the makeup from Dream Child, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It's a different paint job on it, but that's, I believe, what I read. And he comes out and he dances around and, this is supposed to take place now 10 years after, it's released 10 years after the original.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of an amorphous, like 10 years since the series has been done.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that they do mention a sequel by name by just saying, is Freddy dead?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. You and I spoke, I think, during Freddy's Dead about it was a shame that was the last proper Nightmare movie. You had mentioned that the last time that Robert put on the makeup, because just seeing him do the makeup and the whole performance in this movie is that in this TV studio, they introduce him as Robert Englund.
Yeah.
So he is playing himself dressed as his character. But you had mentioned in that show, The Goldbergs. So I looked that clip up. They absolutely should make another movie.
Yeah.
Him being older and in that makeup is so much more terrifying. His voice is like gravel now. Like it's so deep. And it's just like, and he plays it silly, but there's a few seconds in that where it's supposed to be played for a scare. And he's just the same as he was in the first. And man, this is what I'm saying. If we had just fucking won Best of the Bay and we had, purchased Shudder, we could have funded one of these fucking things.
Yeah.
Worked with New Line. I could have kissed Robert Shea on the mouth while you grabbed all the licensing rights and stole them away. I'm the honeypot.
We were so close.
I know.
It's funny you mentioned Robert Shea here, because that's where they're going next. But because basically, after their interview, Robert walks her out afterwards, and has to be hours after the fact because he's now not in makeup,
and he looks so fucking boss.
Yeah.
He's in like a kind of a baggier like sports coat with like a V-neck. And then he's got like these circular purple shades. He just looks like a badass.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was blonde either until this moment.
You feeling good about that now that you're blonde as well?
Don't talk about me.
Okay. But she takes a phone call from Sarah Risher at New Line for a meeting with Bob Shea. Let me just quickly, Robert Englund. Again, some of these people this is the last time we're going to talk about him for a while.
Yeah.
So I just want to give them their credits here. Robert is playing himself, but he has played Freddy Krueger, obviously, in all the Nightmare films and Freddy vs. Jason. He was in Phantom of the Opera, directed by Dwight H. Little. He's in Urban Legend. He was in a movie called 2001 Maniacs in 2005. He has a cameo in Hatchet. He is in Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. He is in a movie in 2008 called Zombie Strippers, which stars Jenna Jameson. And then most recently, he was just cast as the Cricket in Pinocchio Unstrung.
Fantastic.
Which is releasing in 2026. It's one of those like, kind of like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey or one of those movies.
Oh, I'm less excited about that. My gasp, by the way, is the revelation that the next time we talk about him and Kane Hodder is in Hatchet. That's pretty fucking cool. I like that. I love Hatchet.
Yeah, you may have mentioned that once or twice.
Let's stop talking about this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Hatchet. Okay. You were saying?
So Robert has this moment with Heather and tells her that like the fans would love to see them together again. She's like, what, in a romantic comedy? It's like, well, I mean, you know, romantic comedy, romance with a couple decapitations maybe, which is kind of like an in-joke because he was in The Phantom of the Opera, which is a tragic love story that apparently there is a couple decapitations in.
Hey,
So little in-jokes there. But like you said, those sorts of references and jokes are played not for laughs, but just in a hindsight, or if you already know, like, oh, I get what they're getting at.
well, it's also the thing of like, he would reference that because in the scope of this movie, he's Robert Englund.
Yeah.
He did those things. It's not a wink and a nod. He's just going, well, yeah, I did that. Like he's just pointing at his history.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think the writing in this movie is brilliant.
Yes.
But she does then go to New Line and she has her meeting with old Bobby Shea.
Yeah. Producer Sarah Risher plays herself here.
Wow.
Takes Heather back to meet Bob Shea,
Who is in all of the Nightmare movies.
Okay, I'm going to quiz you here.
Okay.
So he's not in all of them, but he does cameo in quite a few of them. Can you name them?
Okay.
Do you want me to? I don't know how to give you hints.
Well, no, just are you going to give me the movie?
I'll give you the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
In 2,
Part 2,
he's in the BDSM bar.
yes.
Right.
In 4,
Is he the teacher?
he is a teacher.
Okay.
In Freddy's Dead,
He's the ticket guy.
yes. In Freddy versus Jason,
Oh my God. We just fucking talked about
Uh-huh.
this. Okay. Is there a hint?
the Wasp is in the scene. That's only going to make sense if you really were paying attention in our Freddy versus Jason episode.
Oh my God. You piece of shit. Because that's Evangeline. Okay. Yeah. He is the principal?
He's the principal. He's
Okay.
Principal Shea. And then he also was not something that we've seen, but he is a funeral minister in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares called Killer Instinct.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, he truly is the Stan Lee of these movies.
Yeah.
This conversation is not a very good one for Bob. He's like, please do this movie. And she's like, no. And he's like, please. And she's like, no. And he's like, double please. And she's like, I'm going to keep fucking saying no. Leave me alone. I'm not doing these movies. And that it's his desperation and his sleaziness, because he does come off as like kind of manipulative.
Yeah. And it's you know, he's trying to.
I don't believe he's like that at all.
No.
Like it has to be a bit.
Yeah. I like the interaction here and the things that he says, because he's asking her to be in this new Nightmare movie, and that, you know, they killed off Freddy, but they shouldn't have, because it's, you know, the fans demand more. Because I like that, because it's like that is the theme of like The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
It is.
It's also
you know,
the theme of Scream 2.
Yeah. It is like we, the horror fans, we want more. Every single time.
I'm not realizing it is subsequently the plot of all the Scream movies after the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Anyway, but
Now that we've had that academic discussion.
But yes, apparently Wes has not been able to write anything like this, because, you know, it's always that thing of like, well, I thought Wes had given up doing horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, because in his actual life, it's like, yeah, he tried to write and direct other things. And like he did, you know, Music of the Heart, which again, I think we said it way back when, it's like that movie has Meryl Streep in it.
Yeah.
Like it's like a musical, like drama. And he tried. And then it's like, okay, but nobody watched it. So I guess I'm back over here doing, you know, Cursed and Red Eye. And
that's not the only project that he worked with Meryl on. He wrote and directed The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, right. I forget
He's
that.
the devil.
Well, and you know, he only got her for that movie because she had been in Freddy's Revenge,
Right.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Of course. Where she plays a 20-year younger than herself version of herself.
Yeah, she's an amazing actress.
She can play it. She can pull it off. Yeah. This is the problem with this movie, is that it doesn't sound like we're describing a movie. It sounds like we're doing nuts and bolts. It sounds like we're doing a discussion about the creation of the film.
Which is funny.
Heather
'Cause it is.
Heather Langenkamp goes and has a discussion with producer Robert Shea. She rejects the film because she wants to pursue a career outside of horror.
And because of the stalker issue that she's been having.
Right. So she then leaves that meeting and gives him a no answer. Only then. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, and in this, it's also revealed that her husband has been working in secret because Wes has been working in secret. He hasn't told anybody that this is happening. So Chase has also been working in secret to build this new Freddy glove. And she is upset about that the secret has been kept from her, but it's in her own home kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the end of this scene is my favorite thing because she's like, has anything weird been happening around here, Bob? And Bob's just like, well, no, of course not. But he's like, you can see for not being an actor, like he sells this like kind of nervousness of like, no, nothing's gone on. She's like, I mean, any weird phone calls, and then the phone immediately rings.
And she picks it up. It is the timing of the, have you gotten any weird phone calls? And then it is just that classic, and it harkens to Scream because the phones just all sounded like that. Oh, it's so weird. And then his eyes dart and her eyes dart, and it's like, and you hear a voice in the background, is somebody gonna get that? Bob, you piece of shit. And he's like, Lynn, please. Everyone thinks you're so sweet, but you're evil.
She shows up.
She does.
So Heather then heads back home, and as she's like approaching, she hears a commotion from Dylan's room. And as she kind of shakes him out of it, he says, never sleep again, in like a creepy kid voice.
That's another problem that I have. It's just like, have him say it and then just do vocal layering. Do something. I hate the movies where the kid is like, never sleep again. It's the only exception to that is in this series, and it's in Dream Child, and it's when
whatever his name is,
Jimmy, or whatever, is like, I think it starts with a J, but he's like, hey, I'm gonna go live with you. And it's like the stupidest little Freddy impression. I love it. I think that's great. This kid sucks.
Yeah.
This kid's no Jurassic Park kid.
Yeah, truly. Speaking of Jurassic Park.
Oh, I also have a speaking of, but go ahead.
Because in this scene, it's then revealed that Dylan was having a nightmare, but Rex protects him. And it shows his stuffed dinosaur. Now, that stuffed dinosaur, if I'm not mistaken, is one from the Jurassic Park film.
Excellent. That's great. Mine was, it was, like I said, recently it was my girlfriend's birthday, and we had some people over, and we were watching movies. And one of her favorite movie series of all time, her favorite film director, Barry Sonnenfeld, we watched his Addams Family movies. In that film, the Gomez's accountants, like they're either their child or a child that they are a part of the life of. I can't remember. That is this kid from Dream Child. Okay. And so I freak out at the party. I'm like, oh shit, it's the Dream Child. And everyone stops. They're looking at me. And I was like, it would take so long. Honestly, just ignore me.
And you put on our episode.
Yeah.
You're like, pause the movie for a second.
I was like, now I'm going to play you the episode 0 so you guys understand how Derek and I met.
Right. See, that's meta.
Yeah. 6 degrees of bacon.
6 degrees of Patton. But Heather then asked Julie, because like he's quoting the movie. So again, she's like, well, did you let him watch, that movie, Nightmare on Elm Street? And she's like, no, he hasn't watched anything. He was just napping. He started screaming. And so Heather calls her husband and explains what's going on there. And he's working on this commercial on this set. And he has the prototype Freddy glove, which I don't know why he would take that with him to another.
Maybe to hide it.
Maybe.
Like, if it's with me, it can't be. I mean, I don't know how high the stakes are if she finds out. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But basically, she explains what's going on. He's like, okay, I'll be there. It'll take me 3 hours. And I love it because we see it like kind of the glove is in his trailer and he's on the phone, and it like, the camera pushes out past it and it's watching him out there. And then he says what he's saying and he runs and gets in his truck and speeds off, and the camera pulls back into the trailer and the glove is now gone. And so we see where that ends up in a moment here. But Heather is then reading Hansel and Gretel to Dylan.
Weird. This is a weird writing decision. So I understand that thematically it's loosely connected, but it's like nobody in their right mind is going to have a child that's having like episodes where they're like maybe possessed and like, I'm going to read you a creepy story about a witch that eats children. Good night.
Now I will give it this, and I will give his little performance here a pass where she's reading, she gets to a point where she stops and he's like, finish it. Finish it. No.
He's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. But no, he's like, finish it. And she's like, no, this isn't, because she does. She's kind of like, this is too creepy for you right now. This is not a good time for this sort of story. And then she like closes the book, and he just like dead rattles it off, like the end of the story.
It's really good horror.
And it's because it's that thing of like, when you're a little kid and you've been read the same story every night, you don't even necessarily know. Speaking of episode 0, Spooky Old Tree, the Berenstain Bears book. It's like I couldn't read when that was being read to me, but I wanted it read every single night to where I could then recite the whole thing as if I was reading it.
Yeah. I think the kid's book from my youth was the Little Pokey Puppy. I loved that story, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't recite the whole thing in a monotone with creepy dead eyes.
But the whole thing here, like you said, thematically, it's that, following breadcrumbs home, which will pay off later. Yeah. He explains the whole like Rex thing, where he leaves Rex under the covers to protect him from the bad man who tries to come up to get him.
He might as well at this point. Like, I love Heather. I love the character of Heather in this movie. But it is exceptionally stupid to not realize like sooner, because he's like the man with the claw comes up in the bed, and it's like, well, who else would he be fucking talking about?
I think I don't take it that way. I think she knows, but she doesn't have a way. Like, she doesn't know how to stop what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing she can do. It's just like, if he's appearing to us in our dreams, like, one, she's having to come to terms with like, oh my God, this is happening in the real world.
Oh my God, Freddy Krueger's real.
Yeah.
Fred Krug.
But yes, Chase, her husband, is now driving home.
And this is when he gets fondled.
He does.
Oh my God, Freddy does fingering.
He's like dozing off, which we've had examples of that in this series before, of people falling asleep behind the wheel. He
sometimes
tries,
they explode. Sometimes they turn into motorcycles. It just depends.
Yeah. Sometimes a glove comes up out of the seat and caresses him.
Right in the nuggets.
It's a bit like when the glove comes up out of the tub between Nancy's legs.
Yeah. Oh,
in the original.
Ooh, good pull. Yeah, because that is very similar.
And then it comes up and does its little touch, and then it goes back under. And he like scratches. And then it comes up and just digs into his chest and kills him.
Yeah.
He crashes the truck and everything, but it's very similar because the same thing sort of happens in that original. It's like it comes up like it's reaching to her, and then it's the knock at the door, and it goes underneath.
Yeah. She is then approached by the police.
Yes, and we get this incredible vertigo zoom as she is looking at that front door, and the police are on the other side, and the lights are flashing. And just the realization of like she doesn't need them to tell her.
Yeah.
She knows.
Yeah.
Which is horrifying.
And sad.
Yeah.
I dread ever having to be on the opposite end of that. So to have it be somebody that you, as a fan of the series, are so familiar with that it's like, oh, you poor thing. Especially because he was handsome.
Yeah. Oh, he handsome.
And the last thing that he experienced before he died was Freddy Krueger touching his testicle.
I hope I'm that lucky.
Oh, I got the glove, man.
Yeah. She goes to the morgue to check on his body, to identify him.
Great effects makeup here of the corpse, because obviously it's him just laying still.
Yeah.
But like the whole body is like blackened and bruised from this like horrible wreck. And she pulls it down, and the only really like crimson-y red is like that dried blood. But she keeps saying, like, I need to see more. I need to see more. The coroner is like, what the fuck is up with her? Now, granted, it doesn't matter because the coroner was Jason. But
it's funny. I have some things on the coroner here.
Oh, Jesus Christ. She pulls the blanket down and he has the slash on his chest.
Yes.
And it can, if ever there were any doubts, now it is 100% confirmed.
Exactly. So the morgue attendant is played by W. Earl Brown, who was in, he reteamed with Wes Craven for Vampire in Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's also in There's Something About Mary.
Okay.
He was in Black Mass, which is that Johnny Depp movie.
Oh, I love that movie. That's so weird.
He was also in the series Deadwood, Preacher, and then he is the voice of Bill in the Last of Us game.
What?
Yeah.
I'm astounded by this.
Yeah. And we've actually talked about W. Earl Brown before because he plays Kenny the cameraman, Gail's cameraman in Scream 1.
Oh, what the fuck? It's like a blink and you miss because I can't even think what he looks like.
Uh-huh.
All I can think about is the black gentleman from fucking Jason Goes to Hell who becomes Jason.
Yeah. That's Coroner Jason.
Because I made the reference to that. Now that's who I see.
You have to go back. We have to go back.
Because the Wasp is in Freddy versus everything is connected, guys.
This whole episode is meta.
Dylan is Heather's child.
At the funeral, we have Nick Corey, who played Rod from A Nightmare on Elm Street 1, and Tuesday Night, who was Kristen in The Dream Master. They make appearances as themselves. Wes Craven, he is there. I think Robert Shea is there. Producers are there. But Wes Craven, apparently, he wanted Johnny Depp, who played Glenn in the first film, to come back, but he never worked up the courage, apparently, to ask him for a cameo in this. And then they bumped into each other like years later, and he was like, hey, would you have done that? And apparently Johnny Depp was like, yeah, I would have loved to do that if you'd asked.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it really does. But I mean, he had blown up after that, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's Johnny Depp. But when they're there, at the funeral for Chase, and an earthquake happens.
Yes.
And like Heather ends up falling forward and like hitting her head, and the casket falls over, and then she looks around, and like multiple times in this, Dylan has now disappeared.
Yeah. Down the chute of the coffin, where like the end of the coffin is like it just the fabric continues down like a Bowser hallway.
Oh yeah.
Into like hell. It's so good. Mm-hmm. It looks so good.
And it's, I mean, kind of like a simple thing, but like just the dream logic of it I love.
Because it's either I mean, I would imagine that it's you build, a few feet of the extended and then just do mirrors. Because it looks like it goes on forever.
Yeah.
It like just this horrible like corridor into the afterlife. And it's also macabre because then Chase is like she's on his body. Ugh.
And then he kind of like, after she gets Dylan, she pulls Dylan back out. It's like Chase's body then kind of comes alive and is like, stay with me. And it's like, that's horrifying.
And he's like, we all float down here.
Yeah, he does say that. And then John Saxon, who's also at this funeral, he shakes her awake because apparently like when she fell, she knocked herself out. She, obviously that was a dream.
John Saxon is obviously famous in our world for playing Nancy's father in the original.
And
he also plays Nancy's father in the third, Dream Warriors, where he is bodily beaten neck and face as he is drunk by Dr. Gordon, and not Dr. Gordon from Saw.
Yeah, not to be confused.
No.
Because it is.
Or Gordon the dog.
Right.
From Final Chapter.
Same. But yeah, he shakes her awake. And she has this little moment with Robert Englund where he's like, if there's anything I can do, let me know. And it's kind of like, I like this idea of like, they've all kind of stayed,
friends.
Yeah. And in contact with each other.
Really quick before we get away from what you said about Robert also, now granted, Robert is a trained and professional actor, but Robert also sells the like, if there's anything that you need, let me know. But there's like something in his eyes. There's some hollowness of like, I understand what's happening, but if I say it, I'm crazy.
Yeah. or I'm giving it away. I'm giving it more power than it,
Right.
you know.
Really good.
The other person to mention
Mhm.
in this scene is clearly we're at we're in a graveyard. They're at a funeral service.
Right.
So there's a graveyard worker. That graveyard worker he's the guy, like you see him in a couple shots, like he's lowering the casket down
Okay.
into the thing. He's played by an actor named Beans Morocco.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's my name.
Well, yeah, I thought it was odd.
Yeah, that there's another person named Beans Morocco out there.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that name. That's my favorite thing. That's my name now. Everybody has. I didn't see it in the credits and go, holy shit, there's a guy named Beans Morocco. Everyone has to call me that now.
Yeah, you definitely didn't do that.
No, I've been going by Beans Morocco. Play the tapes of our episodes.
Yeah.
I've been going by Beans. Now, it might sound like PJ, but it's Beans Morocco.
Yeah.
This is the best name in the world.
But Beans Morocco, he was
Everybody
in,
call me that.
He was in Billy Jack. We got another Jack.
Another Jack to the Jack off, baby.
He was also in Blazing Saddles.
Is he really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's in a 1980 movie called Used Cars, and he is in Police Academy 5 and 6.
Is he a graveyard worker in all of these?
I hope so. But yeah, Beans Morocco.
What a shitty reality
Mhm.
to have. First of all, by the way, guys, this Beans Morocco bit, we've been cooking for like a week or
We've
two.
been cooking them beans.
in the heat of Morocco. But we, yeah, no, that's the craziest name in the world because we've had a lot of names. Like, a lot of names that I have commented on. That's crazy that there's a human being named that. But Beans Morocco.
And he's not an exotic dancer.
No, but the thing is, he's not really an actor either. He's been like 6 things. He's obviously the background extra. And it's like, Beans, your stage name, dude. Be a magician. I am the great Beans Morocco. You know what I mean?
That's good. I'd watch that.
He could be like a sort of salsa musician, like create music for salsa dancers. And he could have like his own, like Fender and Gibson, and those are named after the people that created those specific things.
Right.
There could be a line of percussion instruments called Beans Maracas.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. And he'd sell them.
Yeah, and make that money.
You know what they shake? Filled with beans.
Oh, man. That's on brand. For Beans Morocco, of course. I'm going to move on.
Please.
In the next scene, Heather wakes up and again finds Dylan watching Nightmare on Elm Street, but he's basically sleepwalking. And she freaks out whenever she ends up like waking him up. I hate the scream that he gives here because it doesn't seem natural. It seems acted. It seems, hey, you're supposed to scream.
Another thing is that this kid isn't great. And I'm assuming that this was because he's in a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it was a nightmare, pun intended, to get him through a lot of these takes. So I'm sure this is one of a couple where it was just like, this is as good as we have.
Yeah.
We have been shooting this kid screaming for 2 hours.
And I'm fine with like all the performance of him sleepwalking and all that little creepiness there. It's literally just the scream that I'm like, it takes me out.
Yeah. He's also watching this on the television that, if you'll recall, not plugged in.
Not plugged in. But he kind of reiterates that he's heard this Freddy rhyme from like the children in his dreams. And his nose starts bleeding. They have this talk here because a lot of the themes of this movie are, they question whether or not Heather or Robert or Wes should feel any sort of guilt in putting these sorts of movies out into the world, that kids could see them. What are the effects that they would have on people and children? And it's brought up like several times. But we get this moment here between Heather and Dylan where he kind of asks some like existential questions of like, well, where is daddy now? And like she explains like, oh, well, he's in heaven. And we kind of do this like biblical talk for a bit. And he asks, like, do you have to die to see God? Why does God let their, bad things happen in the world? Which are all questions that I would love answered right now. God, if you were listening.
Oh, God. Derek was hit by lightning and turned into a smoking pair of sneakers.
But it leads us to the playground scene where Heather is having a chat with her not actual father, John Saxon.
I love this.
Same.
I love this.
Really
Number one,
like
it's
this scene
great
a
to
lot.
see him.
Mhm.
But number two, his performance is great. The advice that he gives her feels so natural.
Yes.
They didn't lose any of the sort of chemistry, father-daughter chemistry that they had from the first movie. If anything, it's only better now.
Mhm.
But yeah, and at one point she can't seem to find him, and she has like a complete meltdown because then she finds him and he's standing like on top of the like jungle.
The
gym.
tallest jungle gym.
It's like a 3-story tall jungle gym.
Yeah.
He's standing up there and he's like, I'm gonna jump. What's crazy is he's standing on the top of this jungle gym. Like the jungle gym is kind of built into a tower and he's standing on top of it and a fucking commercial plane hit it.
I was going to say, he climbs up to the top of this jungle gym and he raises his arms in the air.
Yeah.
And he begins to give all of his energy to Goku for the spirit bomb.
He gets on top of it. He raises his arms into the air and he catches a goal-winning pass from legendary quarterback Tom Brady, winning the game for the Patriots.
Yeah. But then he falls. And Heather catches a stuntman who's made to look like a child.
A stunt little person.
Yes. But he does give this, like, just, I don't know, line of God wouldn't take me, which is kind of chilling, honestly. Like, he climbed up there to offer himself to the great beyond.
Which is crazy because there are a lot of gods of myth that would gladly take a sacrifice, especially in the form of a child. What I will say is that knowing Wes Craven's past of incredibly sheltered over Christianity, smothering and unforgiving, judgmental, horrible. There's nothing in the world worse than organized religion. And he comes from a world of it digging nails, not claws, but like hammered nails into your body and just controlling everything. And I understand why towards the end of his career, as he's working on something incredibly meta, he's like, I think it's interesting enough to explore that what I've created, this horror that I've made that touches people in these ways. Some of it is negative. Why the fuck do I have to feel guilty? I'm not the only one who makes harmful stuff. There is a world of harmful rhetoric. There's a world of harmful belief and idolatry that is shoved down the throat of people. And yeah, it leads to insanity. And I love this moment where because it is from scene to scene, they really don't talk about it anymore after this.
No.
But it just feels like right there. That's what I took from that is Wes Craven being like, that's why I don't feel guilty. And it's like, good for you, dude. You shouldn't.
Yeah. Heather is she's been receiving letters as well as these calls from her stalker. She just kind of gets a new one and tosses it in a drawer with the others. But she calls Robert Englund and they have this chat back and forth of like, do you know anything about this movie that Wes is working on? Like what? And Robert is kind of like out of it while he's listening to her talk and he's painting.
Yes.
As he's doing it. But she's like, yeah, I've been having nightmares about Freddy, but he's, you know, and they're kind of finishing each other's sentences in this moment of like, but he's darker, scarier. Like there's something more to him. And Robert almost is both like afraid, but his delivery is also kind of like, he's also been experiencing this and he loves what he's seeing and what he's feeling. Like this is the next step in the Freddy.
Okay, interesting. See, I didn't take that at all. I took this is someone who has probably been dealing with it longer. Probably from whenever this began, he's probably the first. That's what I took, that he's been dealing with it for a long time. So now he's just like fucking haunted. And in the most terrifying reveal of this movie is that he's been painting the entire time that he's on the phone with her. Just hitting brush on canvas hard, really like emotionally painting. And then as he finishes the conversation, he disconnects the phone kind of abruptly. It's not a goodbye. It's like, yeah, I have to go. Goodbye. And he hangs up the phone. The camera turns slowly and he has been painting this demon Freddy.
Yeah.
and it is like kind of abstract. So he's like bleeding out of the canvas. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yes.
I love a good painting, like a horror painting. Yeah.
And the reveal of it just adds so much more. The other thing that I love in this is that talking about the script, and he's like, yeah, he won't tell me anything. He the last time I spoke to Wes, he said that he's gotten as far as when Dylan tries to reach God. And it's like the realization on her face of like, what are you saying?
How the fuck is Wes Craven writing my life?
Yes.
Yeah. So eventually she's got to go see the man.
Yes.
The myth. The Craven. Wes.
Yes. Before we get there, basically Dylan is up sleepwalking again. And at some point, the phone rings and she hears Freddy's voice on the other end. And the phone, in just like it did in Nightmare on 1, it becomes Freddy's mouth and his tongue comes out at her. And then Dylan has like a seizure. So she has to rush him to the hospital.
Yeah.
And so in doing so, the doctor again kind of reiterates this thing of like, you know, do you show your son the movies that you make, and you know, trying to blame Heather for possibly what's going on here.
And if not directly, it's like it's like a confirmation bias of the doctor's like, okay, well, you do horror, so of course your child is going to have like delusional fear, like duh. Which, you know, I know this doctor from one thing. This doctor's actress would later go on to play Troy Barnes's grandmother in Community, who makes Britta go get her a switch, and then she uses the switch to whoop Britta's naked butt.
Yeah. That is Dr. Christine Hefner is played by Fran Bennett. And yeah, she was Nana Barnes. Season 1, episode 18, Basic Genealogy, if you want to look it up.
That was one of those where it was like, we're watching it and I was like, where the fuck do I know her from? And it's like driving me insane. I was like, I know what I've seen her in. She's old and she's mean. And it took me a while, but then I got there.
The other nurse here is Lynn Shay. This is her cameo as she gives Dylan sleeping pills. But then he doesn't take them.
Yeah.
He's hiding them like under his pillow. Lynn Shay also played Nancy's teacher in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But they have a discussion here that he is showing early symptoms of childhood schizophrenia. This is where she then goes to visit Wes Craven at his lavish home.
It makes sense too, because if you have to take your child to the hospital and they're like, yeah, your child has like crazy person's disease. And it's like, okay, well, I think that maybe Wes Craven's doing this to my kid. So I gotta go.
So we get a bunch of exposition here for what Wes believes is going on.
Yes. Okay. Very, very briefly. Wes Craven began to have nightmares, very visceral and realistic nightmares. So he began to write them down. And what he explained is that in myths of old, there were such strong stories that the story would like satisfy and debate monsters, horrific, like demonish monsters, and that they would like the story and connect with the evil of the story, and it would keep them appeased. They would almost live like retroactively through the story's villain. And then they killed Freddy.
It's been 10 years.
And he's hungry now. So the demon has decided that it's Freddy and it's going to keep making the movie. So it is then writing the movie through Wes Craven's nightmares about making the movie, about the original movie, because the sequel of that movie killed the villain and nobody likes that, especially the demon that is making Wes write the movie about the movie for making the movie. That is, we are mirrors and mirror. It's the glass onion. We're too far down the hole. And once he explains this, and of course, you know, we've mentioned before, Wes Craven just has this wonderful tone, this temperature to his voice, and he is so well spoken. And it's just like, I'm sitting there listening to him talk, and it's just like, why didn't you do audiobooks, man?
Oh, yeah.
But no, the story of this and being played out, and Nancy is like, or Nancy, okay, yeah, me too. Yep. Heather is totally understandably like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, I don't know what happens next.
And he's like, well, don't worry though. Like, cause you can beat him. There's a gatekeeper that can keep these things at bay, but I think it's going to have to be you, and you're going to have to be Nancy again.
Yeah.
And it's just this, I mean, it ends up being this perfect little capper on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the scene ends. They've now walked through this house. They've ended up in his study, and he's explaining how the only way to defeat, he's like, I think the only way to defeat him is to make another movie. That's why I'm doing this. And it comes down to whether or not she'll be Nancy or not. And then we push in on a computer screen, and you see the exact lines of dialogue that they just spoke, and we fade to black.
Which is insane. This is the good writing equivalent of the Spaceballs.
Yes.
Well, we got to see where we're at in the movie. Like, what happens next? It's just brilliant. I love it. It seems like it would be such an eye roll. This seems so like, oh, shut up. But it's so good.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Nancy's back home reading up on child schizophrenia and sleep deprivation and how they have similar symptoms. And there's an earthquake that happens and it cuts the power.
Yeah.
And like the TV before that was like flickering, and it kept like, it talks about the effects artist who had been killed on the job site and everything like that. And so the power goes out, and she's looking around, and the closet door opens, and Freddy comes out of the closet. Now, let me ask, because I would love to know Charlie's opinion on this.
Sure, yeah.
Because he literally comes out of the closet here. And Freddy, as we have discussed, and as Charlie so eloquently put it in our Freddy's Revenge episode, Freddy is kind of a queer icon.
Yeah. Well, the question is, I want to know Charlie's take, but I'd also want to know Wes's. Because how intentional is that?
I don't know.
How much of that did he agree with the second movie? Because for all reports, he did not like the second movie. But I wonder if that's an element that he kept.
Maybe. Or maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I mean, no. He literally leaves a closet using the door of it. Like, he came out of it. So,
but yeah, he and Heather, fight here. He calls her Nancy, cuts her arm, and then she goes back to the hospital.
Yeah, she gets away, ends up at the hospital, which is bad because she's got a bunch of razor cuts on her arm.
Yes.
And the doctor's like, so what the fuck's that about?
And so, yeah, she's having to explain that. And again, it's a little repetitive here of the doctor still being like, the movies that you make and why did you show them to your kid? And you've done this to your son.
It is a bit of the dead horse turning into glue from the Beatons, like a little bit.
But,
oh, you also have bitch nurse. I don't remember what her name is, but there's a nurse who's just this terrible, mean person who's like helping the Nana Barnes. And it's like she is going to inject Dylan with like sleep aid, essentially.
Because they're basically like, you've not been allowing him to sleep. So we're going to do this.
Right. And so she tries to fight. She gets into a physical altercation, and then somebody distracts them. And then one of the nurses just injects him with it.
Yes. Now, yeah, because there's two nurses here. The junior nurse with the needle is Jessica Craven, Wes's daughter.
Oh, no, I called her a bitch.
Yeah. No, I think she's the other one.
Oh, God, thank God.
I have no idea.
I don't want to get haunted.
I have no idea. You're probably going to get haunted.
Oh, God, Wes, no.
But yes, Dylan and Julie are like put in this room as the doctor talks to Heather with the security there about what's been going on. And they give Dylan a sleeping aid, and Julie kind of forces the nurses out of the room and tries to keep him awake. And then we have our big reveal of Freddy in his amazing coat and
his hat. His hat. Yeah. Freddy's hat is iconic. He is the killer with the iconic hat.
That's true.
Probably the only one.
Yeah, the only one.
Creepers.
Oh yeah. He has a coat and a hat.
Like, Jason doesn't wear a hat. Candyman doesn't wear a hat.
Certainly doesn't.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Chucky, they don't have one that small.
Oh, he wears like a Build-A-Bear hat. That'd be so cute.
But he Dylan is seeing Freddy rise up behind Julie, who is not able to see Freddy.
No.
And then we get this, to me, amazing, reference to the first Nightmare film where he attacks Julie. The nurses are trying to break in and they open the door and her body is like suspended in the air and kind of being moved around like Tina's body was.
And
then it is then stabbed and drug up the wall and across the ceiling before Freddy kills Julie and her body, drops to the floor.
Yeah.
This is the part that I like Dylan's performance the least because he turns to the camera and screams Julie. Or no, maybe he screams Rex. It's one or the other, but whatever it is, it's like the face that he is making is not
a human face.
Well, it's not how you would react to whatever was in front of you. This whole scene is his worst performance in the whole movie.
Yeah. He's only got two good ones.
Now, part of that could be how much of that is he actually witnessing and how much of his, like, he is there and they went, oh, make a reaction as if you saw a scary thing. And then they shot all the rest of it without him being in the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm kind of like, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna reference Barry Sonnenfeld's Addams Family again. And Addams Family Values, Carly told me this. There's a scene where they lost the house. They're all trying to find jobs. Morticia takes a job at a librarian. She's reading to children.
Okay.
She's reading them this terrifying story, this awful story. She rug pulls. It's this terrible ending. And all the kids begin to like weep and scream uncontrollably. And apparently the reason for that is because they were like, hey, hey kids, we're going to give you like cupcakes or whatever. And then destroyed them in front of them. It was Barry Sonnenfeld's idea. Yeah. Destroy this treat. And all the kids started to have a meltdown. Just do that. Flick him. Be like, all right, you're going to be really sad. You're going to be sad and you're going to say the name Julie and right in the back of the neck and just, oh, now granted is that child abuse? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson was a pop star. He was the best. So take from that what you will.
Yes. Dylan sleepwalks out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And he has been told by Heather several times, like, hey, don't worry. Our house is right there on the other side of that freeway.
And he's like, time to cross that motherfucking freeway. And Freddy's like, don't worry, man. I'll help you. It's really good visual effect here.
Yeah.
It's digitally, but it's so creative that it is in Dream Warriors where he's giant and in the sky. I don't fucking care. It's awesome. And it's just that fucking glove comes down and like Heather has made it to the freeway and is watching this happen as this glove, this giant fucking glove finger hooks like his coverall and just picks him up. And it's just like, is he going to drop him from way up high? Because that's the first thing I thought he was going to do.
Well, and it's that thing of like Dylan just running across the road. He's kind of dodging cars and then Freddy picks him up and it's like, okay, is Freddy trying to do harm to this kid or is he trying to
torture?
Like, yeah.
Because the other thing is that this is no longer Fred Krueger. He doesn't hate kids. It's not anything like that. This is a fucking demon playing as Freddy.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh God, yeah. Like what the fuck is he capable of doing? What is he willing to do?
Right. Good point.
He's willing to slash that fucking dinosaur because earlier in the movie he cut it to ribbons, but don't worry, Heather stitched it back.
But Rex doesn't make it.
No.
He gets slashed again.
That's the slash noise.
Heather is like hit by a car in this scene, and then just like walks it off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's super mom. It's the adrenaline. She picked that car up. She didn't have to.
No.
She was like, get the fuck, and flipped it.
But it moves us basically to our finale where Heather has now made it home and she had called John Saxon at some point in the hospital or on her way from the hospital.
I love this so much.
And so John is now in her house.
Yes.
And she's surprised by him. And
he calls her Nancy and then begins to deliver dialogue from the first Nightmare movie as though his mind is completely controlled.
And yes. And so they're having these moments of repetitive things. It's like she says, I know how Chase really died. Fred Krueger did it. Like exactly how she said about Glenn.
And he goes, honey, what are you talking about? Fred Krueger's been dead for years. Exactly like he did in the first movie.
And it's like, every time we kind of cut and we move a little bit more, you realize like, oh, he's dressed like a cop now. He has a gun and a badge and he's driving a cop car. She's in pajamas.
And then you look at the background.
And her house that we've seen multiple times throughout this movie is now 1428 Elm.
And it's like, I have goosebumps now.
I am. Yeah, same.
It's chills. And it's bum, 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 bum. And I don't think that's the first time we get the score. But it is the first time that we get, I think from the beginning, like from the first film in the franchise, I think this is the first time we get it exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it is so good.
And the other thing that's happening is while they're doing this, and every time they reference more and more of that movie, and Heather kind of decides to become Nancy in this moment, Freddy rises up out of Dylan's bed under the covers, which is how he did in Nightmare 1 as well. And he becomes stronger and stronger until he finally like rips out of it. And then he's walking through the bedroom. And there's this poster on the wall of Dylan's bedroom that I wanted to point out because it is the same poster that I had on my bedroom while growing up. And it is this, it's whenever you see Freddy's shadow going across the wall, there's this poster on the wall. It's like a horizontal poster, like landscape. And it is the top half, the top like 2/3 is like dinosaur paintings of all these different types of dinosaurs. And then along the bottom is a timeline of like the Triassic.
So this fucked you up a little bit?
No, it's one of those things of like, man, I miss that poster. Like, I love it. Because it's that old school, like late 80s, 90s art for dinosaurs that like half those dinosaurs don't even actually look like that anymore.
What was it? Zoo books?
Yeah.
That kind of, What I find so compelling about all of this is as he gets stronger, she seems to get more and more weak and less confident. And from her time in the hospital, after she witnesses Julie's death, she gets the gray streaks in her hair again. It's everything. And it takes its time to get there. And then once you're here, it's like, it's like when you find out the Star Killer base is a giant Death Star and it's going to blow up planets unless the rebels like hit the trench or whatever. And it's like, yeah, this is the same, but it took a long time to get to the same. And I love seeing everything again because I like episode 7 of Star Wars.
Same. No, I that's a good pull. And I like how long it takes for that reveal to happen. And it's a great effect.
After seeing their dialogue on the computer in Wes's office, it's like, oh no, cards are all, you fucking burned the cards. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want and I'm in. I buy it.
Yes.
But then
she goes back into the house and follows a breadcrumb trail that Dylan has now left of all of the sleeping pills that he has not been taking and has been squirreling away.
Okay. I want to say something really quick.
Yes.
He was in the hospital for like a day.
Yes.
All right. If the hospital gave him enough regular human-sized pills that were sleeping pills that he could make a breadcrumb trail up to his room, the hospital was trying to kill that kid.
Yeah.
Like for sure they wanted him to be dead.
That makes sense.
Speaking of people,
it's because of his acting.
They're like, I bet you wish this was good acting.
They were watching
DiCaprio.
They were watching the dailies and they were like, we got to get rid of this kid.
And the doctor was like, get me a switch.
He's not going to be in Pet Cemetery 2, which I don't believe he was.
Pet Cemetery.
And eventually she realizes, oh, he is giving me a way to join him.
And it's an interesting pull, a payoff of this is, he comes up from my bed and Rex protects me. So then she gets into his bed and crawls. And it's like the mattress just doesn't stop. It starts going down like the coffin did. And it goes down and down and down. And she starts to hear him.
And she's like sliding and it becomes like brick.
Yeah.
And she eventually falls into like this underground chamber.
It is like a boiler room equivalent of like if you're familiar with D&D, it's like the Tomb of Annihilation. It's just this giant multi-chambered, disgusting torture factory filled with fire and blood and stone and iron. And it looks so cool.
And there's like the thing that she falls out of is like a statue face of Freddy.
Yeah.
That she the water is pouring out of his mouth into this pool. And there's like pillars, like you said, and statues and vases and things. And there's these imprints on the wall that I thought were like the 7 deadly sins at one point. But then there's
That's
some
cool.
words that are just like, they don't fit that. So
Dick
I don't know.
and mozzarella.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what they're getting at. But Freddy starts stalking Heather around in this chamber, and she eventually she looks over and she's like, well, what's that on the ground over there? Is that the script? And so she ends up picking that up and reads like a page of it, and it's like the line is like, there was no movie, there was only her life. And Dylan finds her, and she had also picked up a knife before she left the house.
Yeah.
Because that's, the only thing she could kind of find quickly to defend herself with.
It says there was no movie, it was only her life. And she's like, life rhymes with knife. A knife.
But when Dylan shows up, she like tosses that on the ground in a very Laurie Strode type of way.
Yeah.
And Freddy like smashes her into this giant pot that smashes, and it's full of eels.
Yeah.
So again, it's like in multiple movies we have these like snakes and eel imagery.
Yeah.
I think Freddy looks very snake-like in this movie.
Definitely.
In the scene, in the funeral scene, whenever he like is pulling Dylan down into the coffin, it's just this quick little shot of him, but something about his eyes, he just has this snake-like look to him.
I think, and I'm going to look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure part of that is because I think he has got like the snake contacts, like the pupil, the slit pupils.
And she ends up like shoving him and like stabbing him in his eye or something. And then they fight for a bit. Dylan picks up the knife and stabs Freddy in the leg with it. And then Freddy chases Dylan for a while. And Dylan ends up climbing into this like furnace room where he's out of Freddy's reach. And then we get the triumphant return of Long Arm Freddy.
Oh, his arm is long as fuck. He doesn't have snake eyes, but he does have like the really pronounced and high arch ridges of like his eyebrows and cheekbones. So I do see the snake thing. But yeah, we get long arm Freddy.
And what I kind of like about this movie is it's almost a if you look at the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as a whole,
right?
And you go from like very serious tone horror movies, a little whimsical, to like straight up like one-liners to cartoony. It's like this is like a macrocosm of that.
Yeah.
Because it's like Freddy goes through that whole thing here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he gets kind of silly here in the end where he's just like chasing them around and knocking things over, stretching his arms out. And then he kind of like his face stretches at one point.
Which is very like Ghostbusters-y.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that like a decade earlier, those kind of special effects like Beetlejuice or whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you get some other reprises of things we've seen before. Nancy runs up some like sticky, melty stairs.
Yeah.
They're playing the hits.
Yeah.
Wes knows what he's doing. But yeah, Freddy at this point is like stretched out his arm, grabbed Dylan and pulled him to him. And now he's unhinging his jaw to swallow him whole.
Yeah.
And Heather,
that's how Freddy eats.
Yeah. They've just never shown us before.
Yeah, but like if he's eating an orange, he doesn't peel it. He just swallows it like a pill. Yeah. Like those pills.
I believe that. But Nancy ends up stabbing Freddy, and then they like start shoving him into the furnace itself, and he like wraps her up in his tongue.
Yeah.
And Dylan like
a sex pervert.
Yeah, we did finally discover that.
Yeah. Finally. Well, never mind. You're just making me upset.
Dylan like sneaks out through a different, entrance to the furnace, and he comes around, and they end up shoving Freddy all the way in, closing it and turning the furnace up, putting him up against his greatest foe, fire.
Fire. Yeah. He's the fire guy.
He is. At some point in this, Dylan takes the knife and like stabs Freddy's tongue, and it splits it, giving him the snake tongue. Again, kind of reiterating this
reinforcing the serpentine nature of him. Yeah.
But then they turn the flames up. Freddy begins burning. And he becomes like a rubber puppet.
Yeah. This isn't great.
No.
This is oh, we're out of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like his eyes bulge out of his head.
Uh-huh.
And then everything starts exploding. And they're running and they jump into the pool in the middle of this chamber. And then they like slide out from under the covers of the bed. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their little like, Hansel and Gretel moment of like, and then they were happily ever after. And then she looks down and the script is laying there in the sheets and she picks it up and she reads the end of it. And it's, everything that had just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends with a personal, like a written message in there that says, Heather, thanks for having the guts to play Nancy one last time. At last, Freddy is finally back where he belongs. Best regards, Wes. And like the last lines that you read, if you're reading the page of the script, is like Dylan saying, oh, well, can you read it to me? And then he says, well, can you read it to me? Or whatever. He says the exact line. And so she begins reading from the beginning again.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of this cyclical.
But it's cyclical in that's how they end it. But it's also cyclical, like, because that's when you realize that that's how the movie is ending, you realize that's how it started. And that's the whole premise of the movie is that once it starts telling itself, it is telling itself because the movie is about the movie being told by the people telling the movie to the other people that are listening to the movie that are then writing the movie as it's being told to them. And it is just like a spiral of a narrator telling a story that the story is about, two people that are in the story who the story is about, who are then telling the story to people. And it hurts to think about for too long. And I'm stupid, so imagine how I feel. Me, Beans Morocco.
Right. I really like this movie a lot.
You recommend it?
I do recommend it.
Recommend it. I recommend it in the way of like, hey, do you want to see an example of why everything that Wes Craven made in this world lasted forever? Because he's a fucking genius.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the horror genre does not deserve this level of brilliance.
Right.
It is why this series? Because it's crazy. There's always a man, there's always a lighthouse level logic built in a series where it's, I'll get you my pretty and your little soul too. And it's like, that's the one right before this one.
Yeah. And it is that, like, we didn't really talk about this in the production, but it is because of the way that these things were released. This comes out a few years after Freddy's dead, but it comes out before, Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
We just watched it in this way because it takes place outside of continuity.
This exists in our world.
Yes.
This does not exist in a fictional world.
And
well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I don't know. I like kind of having it here at the end.
Yeah, I do too. So now this is the saddest I think I've been doing our show because we have talked about long franchises. We talked about most of Halloween. That's a long one. We've talked about, there's fucking 6 Scream movies, but nothing like this.
No.
This is, how many of these in total have we now talked about with Jason X and this being the 7th installment of Nightmare?
I think it's 18.
Yeah, because of Freddy versus.
Yeah.
18 weeks.
Yeah. We've been here a long time, guys.
That's, Jesus Christ, that's 4 months. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jesus Christ. I'm putting it together that this has been 4+ months of talking about these franchises and them being interwoven. And it's like, until we get, until we see how Jason Universe fleshes out, and there's all kinds of rumors swirling about what that's going to be like. And unfortunately, I think Freddy's kind of gone from the zeitgeist enough that he may not be revisited.
Yeah, I read a headline today that was about Robert Englund saying that he would be happy to if they were to continue like Nightmare of Freddy in any sort of animated form, he would love to do the voice for it. Like he's down to do whatever they want in that realm.
I think that'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I
think you can do a lot of interesting stuff with it. And I mean,
yeah,
there are like horror movies out there that are animated that fit in the canon of other things. There's that Predator, Killer of Killers or whatever,
which we still need to watch.
Yeah.
I'm a big Predator fan, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Freddy Krueger, because he's a child predator. It's
Oh
different.
my God.
It's different, and he's on a list.
Definitely on the list.
Not the list. We don't. That's not what we're talking about.
No, definitely something.
So then you and I did this before
Mm-hmm.
we recorded. We took that tool
Mm-hmm.
that was our 24-minute long cold open,
Mm-hmm.
and we ranked these movies, the Nightmare movies. And then you made the point that we didn't do this during Jason X. We had a guest. We were trying to get him the fuck out of the door so we could talk about Halloween Horror Nights. So we didn't get to talk about those. So you had thought that at the end of this episode, we would then, because this is so monumentous and we've been doing this for so long, we would kind of give closing thoughts as a ranking of our favorite Friday movies
I feel like
and Nightmare movies.
we've tried to do that with the other franchises so far, is kind of give our rankings when we get to the end.
Yeah. How do you want to start? Do you want to start with Jason or do you want to start with Freddy? Let's start with Freddy. Freddy versus, right? Okay. Well, I started with HHN, so you feel free to start with your least favorite.
My least favorite
Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Ooh, interesting. Did you put the remake in your list?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
I'm just
it's
gonna
at the bottom.
I'm just gonna put this as a footnote then. It's at the bottom.
It's the worst movie ever made by a
Yes.
person.
So number 8 then would be Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
8 being Freddy versus.
Yeah, I included it. Oh, and I'll let you know, I included it in both lists.
Okay, that's fine. That's a wash. I didn't include it in either
Cool.
list. Okay, so what is yours?
Freddy's Dead,
Okay,
The Final Nightmare.
Freddy's Dead. The Final Nightmare. Is
We're
my-
in,
is
we're
my
in
least
agreement on that.
favorite. Yeah. That's my least favorite.
Next would be Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Okay. Interesting. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master.
Yeah, same.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
Okay, see, next I have New Nightmare
Okay.
is my is after Dream Master.
Then I have Freddy vs. Jason, which I don't think is on your list.
No, it's not. But then I have Dream Child.
Okay. Then I have New Nightmare.
Okay, then I have the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
And
And
then
if-
Dream Warriors.
Yes. Dream Warriors is the best.
That's crazy how most of that list was.
Yeah,
the
we
same.
only have the one flip.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh,
I don't think Friday the 13th is going to go the same way.
No, I don't think so either. What this says to everyone at home is that the best one of these is Dream Warriors. Dream
Yeah.
Warriors. It is so good.
Mhm.
And Heather's in that.
Yes.
And so is Freddy Krueger.
Yes. That's a good point.
Okay. Now you see the problem is that you fucking put
That's
Freddy
a
versus
good point, Beans.
Just Beans Morocco. You put fucking Freddy versus Jason in there. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Because now you have to start. 'Cause you have an extra.
Okay. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday.
No, that's not my least favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, my least favorite is 5.
Okay.
I guess it's just because it makes me angrier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. You know what?
Or
No.
you love Creighton Duke.
I don't trust this list at this point. I'm taking this back. It is absolutely Goes to Hell. I don't know how this happened.
Sometimes you got to take it a couple times, you know?
Okay. So
But then
is 5?
5.
Yeah. Okay.
A New Beginning. Next would be part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Mine is 3D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 3D. I've said this on the show a million times. 3D commits the cardinal sin. It's the most boring one.
Yeah. Next for me is 7, The New Blood.
Mine is 8, Takes Manhattan.
Okay. Jason X.
Mine is then Jason. Oh, shit. Yeah, because after Takes Manhattan, it's Jason X.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Then part 3.
Then part 7.
Okay, so we're flip-flop there.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool. Part 2.
Friday the 13th, the original.
Fair. Okay. I put the remake in here. And this is how high it is on this list because I really like the remake
I
a
didn't
lot.
put the remake in.
But then next would be Freddy vs. Jason,
Oh,
which
okay.
you also don't have on the list.
Right. So then what's next? So this would be your number 3,
Yeah.
right?
Number
Okay.
3, the original Friday the 13th.
Okay. Number 3, final chapter. Or no. Number 3, Jason Lives.
Okay. My number 2 is Jason Lives.
My number 2 is 2.
And my number 1 is the final
chapter.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so those are the ultimate movies, is Dream Warriors and Final Chapter.
Yeah.
That's funny how similar those are.
We got to the bottom of it.
We did. It only took enough time of our lives that I can't go on.
Wow.
But now that we're done with this giant spectacle of ours.
Yeah, because obviously, like, we've covered now, I think, what are we, 5 franchises in?
Yeah, we are.
But this is the first time that we've kind of done this, back and forth between 2 of them, kind of melding, franchises. So we'd like to hear from you. Did you enjoy the way that we did this?
Yeah, definitely. Was it as engaging episode to episode to episode, or do you like the break? What we call the Derek's Dirty Dozen, the tastemaker film in between the 2 franchises.
Right. I forgot that. And if you did, are there other franchises in the future that you wouldn't mind us kind of like
twinning?
Yeah. I mean, there's an obvious one.
Candyman and Hellraiser.
Of course.
Yeah.
But no, there's an obvious one out there that kind of fits a similar structure as this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have some ideas for some other ones where I'm like, oh, well, that has about the same amount as that and kind of thematically kind of fits. We could jump back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'd like to hear, do you like this? Or would you like us to kind of cover a franchise and then move on to something else?
Yeah. You can leave a comment wherever you're listening. You can reach out to us on socials. You can DM us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a link where you can text us, for fuck's sake, so you have 0 excuses. But yeah, let your voice be heard.
Yes. The other thing I guess we should say, because now that we're kind of at the end of these, where are we going next?
We're going to a little place called The Lion King 1.5, the movie about Timon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Dig a tunnel.
That's a good song.
We are going. You mentioned that we covered most of the Halloween movies.
Yeah. We didn't cover the David Gordon Green trilogy.
Yeah. And so we're going to round out the rest of our October with
just a little bit more
Mhm.
of Halloween.
Yeah, until it ends.
And eventually, evil will die tonight. But not Freddy, because Freddy's already dead. And not Jason, because Jason's on a different fucking planet.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, this little experiment of ours with these 2 franchises has been an absolute pleasure, Derek.
Yeah, I would agree, PJ.
My name is Beans Morocco.
Right.
Or Bean Rocco if you're nasty. Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel Podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps.
You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at ThatDRosenberg.
You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette
and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty.
A logo designed by Bell DeVelco.
Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington.
Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial. Egg salad and eggs.